Thank you for picking up the Sticks. This is episode 148. What happened to 147? Don't ask questions. Of Sticks Gaming Podcast. I am Mike Carnett. To my right, Mike Steak Carnia.
What's going on?
To my left, Arts. I don't know, Rosian.
Again, kind of how I am at work.
Perfect.
Deny.
To be fair, this is definitely a group failure because, like,
It's really not.
I mean, I'm trying to help you out here. All right, I'm
I
trying.
understand. I understand that, but I appreciate it. I'm willing to take it on the chin. Steak uploaded the episode. Mike reminded me what the topics were.
And then it's been 2 months. You know, but then you bought a 12-pack of beer today. So, like, you know what?
It really does make up for everything.
it's all.
I've bought forgiveness.
Yeah. So if you were looking for episode 147, just PO Box Art, and he'll send you a case of beer and forgiveness.
Will not.
If you can find, I think if someone takes enough time to find you, there's someone we don't know.
How about
like
this?
if that weird like Istanbul like view we get like every whatever it is, if that guy shows up, be like, hey, send me a 12-pack of beer. I think you should send him a 12-pack.
That guy shows up. Can he outrun a geriatric pit bull?
He ain't showing up. He's gonna send you a nice letter, and you're gonna somehow mail him beer to Istanbul.
They probably got better beer over there.
Probably.
All right, then what? Then you're gonna submit a receipt to you. Some way, shape, or form, we owe someone a beer. Anyway, so we're finally getting together.
It's only been
We
2
were gonna,
months.
yeah, we're gonna. I mean, and
Hey, Mike, what happened to Black Friday?
it sucked again.
Not so much that it sucked. The advertiser sucked.
Oh my!
Oh,
and,
it was so bad. It was so bad.
It was so incredibly bad, and I mean, most of the stuff was done digitally. There wasn't anything that I felt was just like this is knocking me off my seat anyway. The Nintendo Switch bundle has been the same bundle it's been for the last like 6 years. It's just one of those things. Like, did I pick up some stuff anyway? Still, of course I did.
Well, yeah. I
But like,
too, yeah.
it was just like beating down the doors, like alert your neighbor, like this. No, it was nothing like that.
I'm pretty sure everything that I got for quote-unquote Black Friday, I ordered in my hands by, pre-Thanksgiving Wednesday.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I had everything before Black Friday.
Yep, 100%. So yeah, so there was Black Friday, and then we usually take some time off between like Black Friday and Christmas anyway, because Christmas, and it also gives us some time to play some games before this episode.
Woo!
Game of the Year 2022. All right, now this is the time every year we look back and try to remember what our games of the year were. Last year was Guardians of the Galaxy. I remember that because that was
tie with Deathloop.
There was a tie. No, it was a tie with Deathloop, and yes, you're right. It was a tie with Deathloop and that was technically number 6 on my list. So we gave like a half a point because we weren't going to give games. I refuse to ever do game of the year. That is nonsense, and we can figure it out like adults. Like, and we did.
We did.
So it was that last year. Was it Final Fantasy VII Remake the year before?
No, that was. Was it only 2 years ago?
I think so.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah.
Okay, I still feel the sting of it, so it can't be. Can't be too much more beyond that.
It came out during COVID.
Yes,
That's right. Okay, so yeah, yep. That's
we have
right.
that.
Okay.
Then Control.
Yes.
Then God of War.
God of War. Yep.
Then
Mario
Odyssey, and then Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Is that it? I think it's 6,
Maybe.
right?
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, that sounds
Holy
right.
crap! I remember this.
Hey.
I actually remember this year.
Right.
Usually, this part of this episode is significantly longer.
I mean,
All right, now we're only here 2 hours and 45 minutes to 3.
What you listed have all been game of the year for us. Whether or not that's the exact order, I'm not sure, but
I feel like that. I feel like I nailed it. Until proven otherwise,
I think that's no.
I nailed it.
I'm almost positive that's right. Yeah,
Cool.
I think so.
God,
Nice.
some heartbreakers in there, personally.
and we've come to conclude that we were wrong twice.
Yes.
Yeah, there was 2.
It definitely. It was the Super Mario Odyssey one should have been Horizon, and Final Fantasy VII Remake should have been Yakuza, Like a Dragon. Because I played that afterwards. You played that afterwards, and I loved the hell out of the game.
Yeah.
You loved the hell out of that game. That would have been. I think that would have been like an easy, far and away game of the year if we would have played it in time.
Right.
Um,
Well, it's okay, guys, because the next one's coming out next month, so we have the whole year to play it.
Wait,
Well,
isn't this one the brawler style?
This one's a brawler, but it's a little bit different brawler one though. It's
Yeah,
like
we'll see.
the different styles and stuff.
They got like 9 coming out here in the next like 12 months.
Well, they got quite a bit coming out this year.
When's the next one with Ichiban?
That's Like a Dragon 8, because now it's Like a Dragon. It's not Yakuza anymore. It's Like a Dragon.
Right.
So it's a new. Yeah. So
it's not confusing at all.
Oh, not at all. So Like a Dragon 8. I'm thinking. I think that's next year.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I think the next 2 are like the one. Like this is like the remake of the PS4 one that we never got in the US edition, and then the one after this is the story between 7 and 8 with Kiryu. But that's going to be more. It sounds like it was going to be more the brawler, but we don't know. They never really confirmed that. That's supposed to be out later this year, and then I think 8 is supposed to be next year.
Okay,
so
because they're not doing like Judgment anymore, right? Because they had like the deal with that actor.
Something as of right now, there's no more. Because there were some crazy issues going on right before Lost Judgment.
Right,
came out.
I remember
so
that.
I doubt we'll get another one, but you never know. Things could change.
Who knows? All right, so this episode always runs a little bit different. So we're gonna jump into Game of the Year here real quick. And then we have no news today because we're so far behind anyway, and all the news recently has just been a bunch of sad stuff anyway, with people losing their jobs and also nonsense. So we're probably gonna not talk about that anyway. And PSVR 2 games that are PSVR 1 games. So we're gonna do our Game of the Year rundown. Then we're gonna do what you're playing afterwards because we don't want to spoil some surprises because it's been a month plus since we've been together anyway. So God knows what the hell we've been playing.
I gotta remember.
Honestly, I don't even remember.
outside of no homework done on this one.
I know. I gotta remember.
I was told I needed to do Game of the Year. I asked earlier, are we only
we
doing
always
Game of
do
the
what
Year?
you're playing though.
It's mostly
Sorry.
overlap.
I got at least a couple that I know for sure. I can talk about. At least a couple. Maybe there's probably more, but that's all right.
Okay. Anyway, all right. So Game of the Year. The way we do this, we all come up with our top 5, and then we go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 gets 1 point, 4 gets 2 points, and so on and so forth. We accumulate the points together, and we have a combined Game of the Year, whoever gets the most points. We always have honorable mentions too, but they're not scored. They're at the end of it. Things that we just want to acknowledge and
literally
recognize
things we want to mention.
Literally, honorably mentioning these things. Like it is to the letter an honorable mention. So I forgot. I usually have a pen and paper. Like I don't have a pen and paper here, so I will have to do this digitally this year. So who wants to go first? Game of the Year, game number 5.
I can go.
Ooh,
All right. So
Something Japanese.
that's very racist.
close.
Chinese.
Chinese.
Something
Very close,
Asian.
Very close. Yes. So my list this year. Normally, I am very good at picking our number 1 game. Yeah, that ain't happening this year, but that's okay. This is I probably only have 1 game with the rest of you.
Oh God,
this year.
we're gonna have 3 ties. We're gonna have a 3-way tie for number 1.
Death match.
So just a little foreshadow there.
If this goes with 3-way tie, we're going to WWE 2K22. I'm telling you right now.
How you talking about? I brought
Excellent.
beer.
I got it. We can do it.
I brought beer. That's a tiebreaker.
Yeah, that's right. All right. So kicking things off, number 5, Chinese RPG. Sword and Fairy Together Forever. This is also known as Sword and Fairy 7. This was out on PC a couple years ago, but then they finally got over to consoles and everything. God, I played the shit out of this game. Like I loved it. I thought it looked fantastic. It played great. There's still a little shakiness when it comes to the translations and like voice acting and stuff like that. Because sometimes some of the it's Chinese voices, but then some of the subtitles go away really quick. Because it's so just because of the way it the language flows and everything like that. But this game was absolutely excellent. It was I enjoyed every minute of it. I think it took me like 30 something hours to beat. And I even contemplated buying it again when they finally released it on Xbox. But yeah, no, it's just these Chinese RPGs are getting me, and this is just another one that was just fantastic, and it's definitely something I could see myself like revisiting at some point, just for the shit. Why not? So super enjoyed it, and I struggle. I'm gonna be honest. I struggled number 5 on this. But I felt like I really needed to put this here because some of the there's a couple games in my honorable mention that I had at number 5 for a while, and then I was like, I gotta put this in. Like it's just something. It's so different. Like the amount of time I spent on it. It's so different from everything else. Like
that, I would be telling a very similar tale when I tell my number 5.
So yeah. Number 5, Sword and Fairy.
Hey, I might as well go next.
Sure.
Number 5 for me is The Quarry. I It was. This is definitely. I mean, it was like a perfect circumstances for me. Like I love that game. I loved. Oh my god, what was the original game that they had? The PlayStation 4 game, Until Dawn. It feels like Supermassive getting back to having a shit ton of money because 2K published it, and it was like the quality of this one is so far above and beyond the Dark Pictures anthology ones, which I still do like those too. But like Until Dawn just felt different, had a higher production value, and this is the same. I played on the Xbox One version of it, and that still looked great. So I know you were playing it early a little bit. I don't want to say I don't want to throw anything out there I don't want to speak for you, but you said it looked very nice.
No, yeah, the Series X version looks awesome. Like I was very impressed.
Yeah, and the amount of the things that you can do in that game, and the like 170 something different endings, depending on like choices that are made and who lives, who dies, and how they live, how they die. Like there's so many different iterations in there that I played all the way through at once. I got to a chapter select, like the pivotal chapter, replayed from there again. So I basically played 1.5 times. I watched an all living stream of it. I watched an all death stream of it. I was like, I wonder how this would happen. And I would YouTube it and find like a bunch. I played it 1.5 times. I watched it more than like 2 full times. I watched a bunch of clips. I watched a bunch of like iterations of how how would this person even live, or like, oh crap, and I didn't even know I did that to that guy. You know what I mean? There's so many different ways they can change and iterate, and I really like the characters. Most of the acting was very good in it too. Actually, the Justice Smith, I think is the actor's name, who is like one of the main characters in there, is like super stiff and terrible, but like everyone else is great. It's one of those things that's like,
which characters do you play?
He plays like the guy who listens to the podcast.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's
even just at the beginning, like everyone has a personality, but
yeah, he's like
too dry,
and too awkward.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Yes, he's a teenager. Yes, he's probably supposed to be a little bit awkward, but like he's just way off the deep end.
They're trying too hard.
Yeah, and it's just like you shouldn't be always that person. Like when you're being chased by a murderer, and just like it didn't feel natural coming from him. But everybody else I thought was really really great. Yep. I fell in love with a bunch of the different characters. I felt bad when bad things happened to him. It's just super tense, and it's and the way that they were able to weave that story in and out of some of these choices is just so neat, and I really applaud the. I can't even imagine the whiteboard they had on this thing. Just like how they kept all that straight during all the different things that can change, and
it's the Charlie meme.
Yeah, for real.
All the red string.
Yeah, for real. And it's just like, it's like I had one of my characters. I had one of my characters die like on my true playthrough. I had one of my characters die immediately because I just like I had a 50-50 shot at this and I did something stupid, and then because of that I didn't get a piece of information that led me to killing another one of my characters, which I was like, if it was, and then when my only other character I had die was because I just reacted too slow, and it was just like all those make sense, all those feel earned by me, and it's just like it's just put together so great. If you're a fan of like horror or adventure games or action or just anything, and they have like super easy modes too, is like one button presses to do some of those things. So if you just want to win or want to see what happens when you lose, it's great. I love the quarry. I had, like you said, I felt like I needed to put it on my list because I felt like it needed something more than just the honorable mention. So, number 5, the quarry. Art.
And I will say really quick, with how good it looked, is like Melissa recognized Brenda.
Oh, Brenda Song? Yeah, that's her
right
name.
Away.
Yeah,
like instantly. She's like, I know that girl. I know that girl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's that girl from
I know
Disney
him.
Channel. She's like, oh, she's like, I don't like her, but I know her. I knew her.
Art number 5.
My number 5 is Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Ooh.
I can sum this game up in 8 words. Too much talky, not enough smashy.
So your 5th favorite game is something you didn't like.
I didn't say I didn't like it. I really like the combat. I was okay with all the dialogue stuff at first, but it gets to be too much when you're on like your 20th day and you got 4 people to talk to, and you gotta go do a hangout with somebody. And in the midst of all that, there is cool stuff around the Abbey. There's little puzzles to solve, to open up different areas and find stuff. There's a lot going on there. The combat I really enjoy. I enjoy how you can you pick your 3 heroes to go, and you can make sure you pick 3 that play off of each other with their different cards. You build a deck for each one of 8 cards. And I really like that part of it. I like some of the dialogue. I find it kind of a little bit tedious how when you get the crap, you get stuff from missions and you have to go talk to Iron Man to pick new cards that you got as a reward, and go talk to Doctor Strange, do this thing. Like just unlock the goddamn thing and let me pick cards. Don't make me run across the map to talk to somebody. It's one of those things like, if they did a second one and worked on the whole dialogue thing, make it a little less, maybe throw some cutscenes in there instead of me running from point A to point B to talk to people, it definitely would have scored a lot higher for me. But they nailed the combat on it.
You're excited about Deadpool coming out, or are you done with it?
I'm not done with it.
Okay.
I still have more to go. I put it down to play other things. But one of the good things is you can pop it on, do a day, do a battle, talk to your people, and turn it off, and that'll take you 10 to 20 minutes, and you can just do that in that small contained period and go on with your life. It's one of the things that if I had a Steam Deck, it might be better on that. If I just had the thing next to me, I can pop it on, do a day, move on. But yeah, the obstacle course of tasks you have to go through to get from one battle to the next battle it's a little frustrating, but I still think it was a good game. Especially, I don't know if they're planning on doing a sequel, but for the first time out doing it, this isn't really up Firaxis's wheelhouse. Like the battle part is, because they do XCOM, and so the strategy part's there, but they've never done something like this where you're running around a hub world talking to people, and then to also have to balance that with established IP. It's not just blank faces that you're throwing out there, with the exception of the character that I guess you are, the hunter. Everyone else is people that exist in pop culture. So yeah, that's my number 5.
All right. Steak, back to you. Number 4.
Number 4.
He's very happy about this one.
So, this is something I picked up during the Black Friday stuff. Sonic Frontiers.
Whoa, watch out.
This game is fucking awesome.
Is this 1993?
This game is awesome. The music's fantastic. The combat works. The open world works. It's not perfect. It's Sonic. It's not going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. But oh my god, when you go just doing the different levels, I just could not. I beat it in 5 days, and we're talking 30 something hours. I just could not put it down. It was that good. Just every time going into new areas, there was more new stuff to discover, and then you get better at this and that. It's just, oh my god, it's just I can't believe how good it was, and it's one of those. And then they're going to be releasing more free content. I'm super pumped for that. Giving more characters to play as and more levels and for free, and I cannot wait for them to come out with normally for me DLC stuff's just all right, because normally I finish a game and that's it.
Dude, I always get so excited. Man, I'm excited for DLC, and I never touch it.
Yeah, you never touch it. Well, you finished the game 5 months ago,
exactly, and go back to it. It just never happens, right? I mean, I'll be picking up with the PSVR 2, but Village, the Gold Edition. I never played through the Resident Evil DLC, but that's because that came out almost 2 years after the damn game came out that I was done with.
I had such a weird journey with that, because I played Village, and I bought the season pass was on sale, and I bought it, and I didn't play it until it came out. Like I said, 2-ish years later,
yeah.
And I think I played it 2 years after that. Is when I finally decided I'm gonna play this finally.
Yeah. So I'm excited for it, but we'll see if I actually play it when it finally comes. When it finally drops. I think it's supposed to not. I think it was actually drop by March or something. So if it does that, that's still at least a decent time zone where I could potentially. But we'll see. But yeah, I'm shocked. I was after I was well, this has to go on my list. I could not stop playing it.
I know what we've been doing this for years, and I cannot. This is definitely the first Sonic game we've had even mentioned. I think in this. All right, I think it's time to get spicy.
Woo, spicy.
Number 4, Horizon Forbidden West.
Ooh.
Lower on my list than I thought it was going to be, but still 4, which is like I mean, we talked a lot about Horizon already, and I put it was almost like 91 hours to the minute, to the second almost. It was like 5 seconds over or something like that when I finished it. So clearly, I love this game.
Did you platinum it?
Oh yeah, I definitely platinumed it. So I got the platinum. It was one of those things like I finished all the story stuff. I did like all the side stuff leading into like the final mission. Did the final mission. And I was like, okay, I think I got like an hour and a half more of work to do to get like the platinum. I was like, I did like everything before I got to the final battle.
I've done more for less.
Yeah, exactly. So like I might as well just jump into this and like, oh yeah, I never changed the color of the face paint. Like I should probably, like I'll just go do that real quick. Yeah, exactly. I think that's actually that was like the last one I did. Because I was like,
Nice.
like I thought I did this. And like I had to like look up how to do it because I didn't pay attention to face paint at all the entire game. But it's like funny. It's like I don't know. I especially like with an open world game that actually has like a home to it. Like I finished it. I would have finished the game like 10 minutes earlier, but I wanted to get back to the home base, do one thing one more time, and like finish at home. It's like one of those things. It's like all right, I got Aloy back home. She's safe as far as I can tell, and I'll see her around the bend, which apparently is DLC. So speaking of DLC, I'm pumped for that one because I really like the Frozen Wilds. I think
Sounds right.
was the one that they had out before. Like I really liked that one. I thought it was not going to be as imperative to the story, and it was very imperative to the story going into Forbidden West. I mean, I love that. I mean, again, I don't want to get too far into spoilers either because like it's been out for less than a year, but like the late game mount you get is super fun and super. It's so freeing and like makes the end game stuff way more palatable because you can get from A to B even quicker than like fast passing or fast traveling. And all the side stuff I thought was fairly rewarding. Some of the locations are so very cool. Again, I don't want to get into spoilers here, but like you go into some place about 2/3 of the way through the game. Art knows what I'm talking about, I'm sure. And then it's just so neat to see their interpretation of that very important city, but like in our future, but in their past, and seeing how that all plays out. I love the combat. I love the locomotion. There's so much about that game that I absolutely adored. It did feel like more Horizon, which I love Horizon, so that's not a negative. Like for me, that's one of those things. I felt like I just had more of it what I liked. I wasn't as in the weeds with this one as I was with the first one with like the attachments and the coils and things like that. I felt like that didn't make as big of a difference this time around, and having like the massive, I mean, it was like 6 different trees to go through, and I kind of like honed in pretty early. Like, okay, this is how I play. This is gonna be the best benefits for me, and I kind of rode that out for the last like 60 hours of the game. So like, that those were the things that were just like didn't put it in like, cause I think it was number 2 for me. Like number 2 for me the year should have been number 1, but yeah, number 4 this year because I mean the rest of my list it just grabbed me in a way that like games haven't in a long time. So I'll talk more about those later, obviously. But Horizon got a lot of shade, I think, from people too. And I listening to all these Game of the Year like discussions, and like Horizon's pretty far down on a lot of people's lists, which I don't fully understand that either. I still think like quality of the graphics and like the quality of the acting and all that stuff is so high in this beautiful open world that I think it probably still deserves more recognition than it's gotten, even though here I am putting it in 4th on my own list. So that's kind of like my inner struggle with it. Like I really did enjoy it, but the rest of my list is just so like these next 3 games have like a special a special place in my brain and my heart, depending on what game I'm talking about in the future. And this one just feels like a really great sequel. Mm-hmm. If that is fair even to say.
I got you.
So yeah, Horizon Forbidden West, my number 4. Art,
cool.
What's your number 4?
I'm going to be like sick. I'm going to take this back to the mid-90s here.
Do it.
All right.
My number 4 is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
All right. Nice.
That game was nothing earth-shattering or groundbreaking, but just such a great throwback. It was done so well. They definitely, dead on to those 90s arcade games.
Oh God, yeah.
100%.
It was beautiful. The gameplay was fun. There's not much more to say than that. I haven't watched Turtles since I was in grade school, but I can still jump in there and I know exactly who everyone is, and it felt great playing it. Moving around was awesome. None of the obviously a big upgrade from when played this on Super Nintendo. Similar games on Super Nintendo, not this one on Super Nintendo. But yeah, it was just such a great and for me an unexpected throwback to be pulled off so well. And that's why it's my number 4.
And on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Which
yeah.
which always
If it wasn't on
warms my heart.
If it wasn't on Game Pass, I probably wouldn't have played it.
I would have bought it much later on some sale. Like I wouldn't have been playing it right away when it came out.
I say I might have if I heard from a bunch of people like this is a great game.
Yeah.
I might have bought it on a sale, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't have played it when it came out, and I probably definitely wouldn't have played it as much as I did.
Yeah, I almost 100% of the game I first played through. I missed one collectible. I had to go back and do that. And I was like, I think that's everything there is for me to do.
Nice.
But it was like,
That's
it's,
awesome.
but it had but you're spot on. I love that game too.
Yeah, that's so good.
It was and having the playable Casey Jones and April O'Neil and Splinter, I think as well is on there.
Yes.
Yeah,
But man, yeah, it's especially that first level in the newsroom. Oh God, that's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. It's like I said, it's just a good wholesome Ninja Turtle fighting. It's so good. Side note, 2 seconds of comic book talk. Have you seen Ronin, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ronin yet?
I've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what it's about, right?
Yeah.
Have you heard that at all?
No.
Essentially, it's like the end of the Ninja Turtle story, but there's only one left.
Oh.
And you don't know who it is because he's
Yeah.
carrying all the weapons.
Yeah.
And this it's that story of finding out who is left and how it happened and the end of the Ninja Turtle story. And I just finished it a few days ago. It's amazing.
Nice. I gotta read it.
That's interesting.
I gotta read it.
It's super interesting. It's really, really good. End of comic book talk. Steak, what's your number 3?
All right, let's continue the spiciness here.
You let you borrow. I got the hardcover book, so you can borrow if you like.
I might do that.
If you feel like reading, but just in little windows and little bits.
I read in all my little windows right here. That's why I always tell people I hate reading, and Karen always I was like, you probably read more than anybody I know because you're constantly reading stuff on your phone. I'm like, yeah,
It's a valid
Yeah.
point. Yeah.
I hate reading on paper.
That's right.
books are dumb.
Paper readings are worst.
All right.
Number 3.
So number 3. To say, keeping things spicy here.
Ooh,
God of War Ragnarok.
watch out!
So
Finally, get to talk about God of War.
God of War. We can finally talk about God of War. Kind of very much what you've said about Horizon. It's the exact same kind of thing, where it's not much different. It's 2018 expanded. It's a good sequel. It's a good sequel. I enjoyed it. I mean, I put 40 something hours into it. I mean, I didn't finish it. There's way more stuff to still do. But I rolled credits. I got the 40 something hours and everything. I did a whole bunch of the shit. Got a lot of stuff to still do, but it's so funny because as I'm playing it, I'm like, man, I'm really enjoying this. And then I get to a certain point where I'm like, man, fuck this game. I just I don't this is stupid. This is the same crap I hated in 2018's version. It's so it is the same game. It's the same game. I don't care. People said, oh no, blah blah. No, it's the same fucking game. It's just expanded. And I mean this. There's something. There's a comment I really want to make, but I guess it's kind of spoilery, but not really. It's not necessarily story. I think I didn't watch the. Okay, well here's the thing. I didn't watch the trailers, so I don't know if this was revealed, the who you play as.
Oh,
Throughout.
No, it wasn't revealed.
Okay.
I've heard it talked on podcasts recently, but
Yeah.
I think they talked about hey, spoiler warning, real quick. We'll just do okay.
Okay, spoiler warning really quick because get your Horizon out of my fucking God of War. That's what I felt like when you were playing as the other person.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I won't even say the name. There you go.
Yeah.
You can figure it out. I'm sure you know, but you can figure it out.
Light reference spoiler. I don't even know.
Yeah, light reference. Well, there we go. Whatever. I don't care. It's game of the year. Talk. So get your Horizon out of my fucking God of War. Like they're separate for a reason. Let's keep it that way. So that those sections pissed me off. Like those are the sections where I would get more mad because and also too, I would really be enjoying the stuff I'm doing with Kratos, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoosh, it's like, no, come back. We just started doing something really good.
I miss you, Kratos.
And you're about to take me away for the next 4 hours.
Yeah.
No.
Does that part specifically bother you because of the method of combat?
Yes and no. Honestly, yes. Like it's not for me. It wasn't fun, but then also doesn't help that the story parts of that weren't the best either.
Okay.
Like I felt like the first God of War story, just like beginning to end and after credits, was just like, the whole time I'm like, oh my god, let's keep going. Where this was more like, all right, so is it gonna happen or not? Let's keep going. Let's see what's gonna happen or not. Like with their foreshadowing.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that's all that. Like so. Like it wasn't like that big of a deal. Like I don't know. I didn't have as much of a as I didn't have I have way more of those type of moments in 2018 than this one.
Okay.
I mean, it looks great. Looks fantastic. It plays great. I mean, it plays just as good as 2010, if not slightly better.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, it does. But yeah, like I said, so I still enjoyed it. Like he comes out with another one, I'll play it, of course. But I can't put it higher than this though. Like I was struggling where to put it. I'm like, well, I know I got to put it somewhere in here because it is. I did put so much time into it. And I did enjoy it, but I couldn't. I just could not put it higher than this.
This is why I hate and love Game of the Year because I want to obviously I'm going to want to talk about God of War,
Right.
but do I talk about it now?
You can wait. No, you should wait.
I should wait. Okay.
We go back because
Okay.
I also talked about something.
Okay.
Unless, unless your number 3 is also God of War.
It is not. That is
Okay,
not.
then, yeah, I was gonna say if it was like if you're going right into it, yeah, then that makes sense.
Like his take on it at 3, it very well could be different from your perspective on it at 1.
I'm gonna move it at 3 just so I can talk about it right now. No.
Wait, I gotta reorder some shit.
Yeah, I'm abandoning my list. No. All right. All right.
Do it live.
Yeah, put a pin in that conversation. We'll be back to it later.
Sounds good.
Number 3 for me. Number 3 came out at a funky time for me, where it actually prevented me from playing God of War for a long time because I couldn't stop playing Vampire Survivors. Number 3 on my list. We have not talked at all about Vampire Survivors on this podcast because it came out because I did play it a little bit on PC first because it was on PC Game Pass originally. Then I started it 3 days later, showed up on Xbox. So everything saved and transferred beautifully because that works so amazing. I have played Vampire Survivors for 62 hours.
Nice.
Get a life.
Nice.
Dude. It seems so simple, right? For people who don't know what Vampire Survivors is, it's like an old school, mostly kind of top down. It's like 3/4 of the way down or up. And literally all you do is move with the left thumbstick. And waves of enemies just come after you, and you have weapons that auto fire. But they're these are from a Castlevania. It's basically they've changed some Castlevania sprites. So you have a whip, you have a cross, you have axes, you have garlic, you have.
Oh, it's Simon, damn it.
Oh yeah, especially the first guy you get.
The first guy is Simon, 100%.
Yeah, and then you kill these enemies. They drop gems. You grab the gems. You level up, and then every time you level up, you get a choice of either a weapon or a perk. So. And when you start out, just all I'm doing is moving around, and then okay, I died kind of quick, and then you save it. It has a little bit of roguelikey stuff to it too, where it's a little bit
in the background,
a little bit.
Mikey, no likey, roguelikey.
I usually don't, but this is
background though.
This is completely different. So you can update some stats permanently. Some stats you a little bit. You got to start unlocking characters as you go along because you kind of just find them in the world, or you find them. And what is beautiful about this game is I forget how many weapons they have, how many perks they have that you can attach to it. But there's And then they even have like things beyond that. Like when you get later into the game, you get these cards you can get that can even change even more. So like you're building out this loadout more or less for each run that you do, and the way that those things interact with each other is kind of infinite because it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna get this thing that makes my cooldown faster, so my weapons come out faster, and so like all of a sudden it's like your whip becomes like whip, and then like okay, and then I'm gonna upgrade the whip so it's like a longer strain. I'm gonna upgrade the whip so now it's going forward and backwards, and then all of a sudden it's just like, wait a second, I get a choice now, and then a chest drops, and you open up this chest, and it's like a slot machine. You get gold, and then you get like a free upgrade, and then once you like level up your weapon all the way, and if you have a certain perk attached to it, you get like a super version of your weapon. And all this stuff is like kind of if you don't look it up, like it's not really explained to you. You kind of just like stumble upon all these things as you go along, and then like, oh cool, I got access to the map now. What the fuck's that question mark? And you go down there and it's just like, what the fuck is this thing? And it's just like, and then it's like, oh, and it's like, and he like that person and that thing just like demolishes you, and like, okay, I need to work up my way and go back down there and show him who's boss. But like by the time I save some, like, and the further you go, the more things you unlock, the more things you have, the more characters you get, the more things that you have access to. Then there's secrets involved, and then there's like, you know, batshit crazy, like the game seems like it's turning inside out, and it
gets wild.
It gets unbelievably wild, and it's so imaginative, and it's like you had that like discovery along with just like, I have gotten so powerful sometimes where I'm just melting enemies. I'm just walking around and everyone's like, you hear that beautiful little pop sound, and people like, oh god, it's so good. It hits all those different parts of your brain that you know, it gives you those good juices, and it's just like it gives you all those things all together constantly over and over and over again, and then the 30-minute mark hits, and that's the end of your run because the devil comes in and ends your run in 30 minutes. Like, oh
yeah,
I'm like, wait, there's an achievement here for getting to the 31st minute.
There is.
Like, how do I do that? And then like you start figuring out like what like. And then I'm saying that, you know, there's just so much discovery, and there's so much like, I'm gonna see what this combined with this does. It's just so good, and it's like it seems like you're doing the same thing over and over again, but it changes every time. Like the orgy of lights and sounds and madness I'm creating is different every time, and it's just like it's so good. It's so amazingly good, and it's only $5. If you have to decide to pay for it, which I did, because I put 60 hours into it. I think I owe him $5, and I bought the DLC, but I didn't play that yet though. So like, it's just so simple and so genius, and it could have just been like as simple as I made a game with zombies in it for people who know what the fuck that is. Like, it could have been just that simple and still would have been super fun. But they decided to like, no, we're going to do like a level up. We're going to do a progression. We're going to keep adding things. We're going to add mysteries. We're going to do like one-off occurrences. We're going to do things where you got to be in this right place at the right time. You're going to do this thing where, all right, we're going to flip the world upside down on you all of a sudden. Just like, it just keeps giving you things to do, and all you're doing is moving the left thumbstick. It's incredible. It is a genius combination of things that the player is doing and getting to see and getting to experience along the way. And then when you finally get to that point where you get to that 31st minute, you're like, oh shit. Or when you get to the point where you unlock the levels. Have you done that yet? Where you like unlock like the level cap?
Not yet. No.
Holy
I've not
Lord.
Done that. I've not done that yet. Not
so
yet.
Each weapon has a level cap to it.
Yeah.
And then if you play, I forget what it's called, like hyper mode or something. I forget what it's called.
Yeah,
but if you turn that on, or it's called limitless, I forget what it's called, whatever it's called. When you turn that on, like, you can level your weapons and attachments over the limit.
Oh, nice.
So like all of it just keeps getting crazier and crazier, and it's just, oh my god, it's so good. It's such an easy recommend. Like, I can't fathom anybody playing this game and not liking it. I just can't. I can't imagine anyone who wouldn't like just melting zombies or melting bats or giant weirdo sea creature looking things. Like, it's like half the time I was like, what the fuck is that thing? Like, and there's a million of them. You know, it's like, oh god, it's so good. Oh god, I know you've played. I don't know if you played. Have you played it all yet, Art? No. Oh god, Art.
So
you're kind of selling me.
Oh dude.
Oh man, make sure you have time, okay? Because my first couple nights.
Time is a valuable commodity in my life
you-
right now.
The first couple nights I played it, I probably played it for like 3 hours each day.
Yeah,
like easily,
and
without
this-
even realizing it.
God, yes, yes.
Because you are going to be so bad at the beginning.
Yes.
Like you're going to die within like the first like 5-6 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I don't understand. Like, and that was the thing at first. I'm like, okay, I don't get what the. And then finally I realized I was like, oh, okay, these check marks are adding up for these things now. It's I see. So I start with that perk now that I didn't have before.
Yep.
Okay, all right, and then I start leveling up quicker and all that. And I'm like, oh, here we go,
Dude.
So that for me ended up being my. Because everyone also says that this game can run on a potato, so I was like perfect because the Xbox official Xbox app now has rewards.
Oh, yeah.
And the one of the rewards is to play a PC game, and I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? I'm like, oh yeah. So I put Vampire
Solitaire, baby. Solitaire.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it didn't work for. Okay, well,
You got to play for. You got to play
Yeah,
for a
play like
minute.
2 games.
Well, I tried, but the first time it didn't work for me. The first time I
it's
tried,
worked
so
for me
I don't-
every day.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Free
Well,
cell. It's all about free cell.
Oh well. And then
Guys, go Klondike.
and I'd be a Vampire Survivor for me because like I know because
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
You got to play for 10 minutes total. I realize that's when I get the notification on my
Okay.
phone. So, but that's what got me to play it. So now it's like but now that I'm at that point where like I've gotten more of like the upgrades and stuff like that. That's like so now I do 1 run a day, and I limit myself to 1 run a day because if I don't, I will just sit there and fucking play the shit out of this game. Like
Yeah.
it's so dumb, but in the best ways possible. Like
I have done everything you can do in the base game. I have found every monster. I have unlocked every character. I've done every secret. I have done every.
Nice.
I have unlocked and doubled up and XP'd up every single weapon. I have done everything I could possibly do, and I went and bought the DLC. So so that means it gives me a whole new bunch of stuff to do, which I haven't done. I just got a couple days ago. I haven't played it yet.
Nice.
But yeah, man, like Steak said too. Like when you start playing it, like you're gonna have it's gonna be like 3 minutes. Be like, oh, like this is not satisfying at all. And then
Your first few runs are just
Yeah.
like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. And then all of a sudden, then you realize it's 4 hours later, and you're like, okay, I get
Yep,
it.
and then you get that weapon combination that works for you.
That's the thing. It's finding the certain because at the very beginning, there's some weapons that I actually use now that I love that I hated back then because I wasn't powerful enough to appreciate how it works. But now it's like, fuck yeah, give me that lightning. Fuck yeah, give me that duplicator. I want that evolution because that is incredible.
Oh yeah,
that's one of my favorite evolutions.
That's a good one.
That's one of the best ones.
Oh man, yeah, it's like yeah, I'll try an axe, and it's like this is fine, and then it's like, oh, garlic, like what does that do? It can't be that, and then like, oh my god, I'm melting these motherfuckers. Like it's so good. It
garlic
is.
upgrade is fantastic.
Yeah, if I was the only bit of advice I give to new players is like do the garlic as soon as you can, because that will give you a chance to like learn some stuff because it's like a halo of destruction around you.
It helps knock back guys too, so it lets you. That's the first time I survived the longest. Like I actually survived 10 minutes was because I had garlic. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah. Oh god, it's so good. It is so incredibly good. Art number 3.
Number 3.
Is hearing about Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, my number 3 is done. We did it. So I was worried about putting this one on here at first because I thought it might be considered playing Fast and Loose the Rules, but Steak's already done this for me.
Good.
So a PC game that came to console this year, The Ascent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do not like twin stick shooters. I'm not very good at twin stick shooters. I had a blast with this game. It's the fact that it's a twin stick shooter, but it's not your typical kind of like you're pinned in one room and they're swarming at you from all angles. No, you're going through a map and you encounter groups of enemies and you fight them and you go through there. You get that it's in this cyberpunk universe which is pretty fleshed out and cool. Bunch of weapons and like I don't know the augmentations I think they call them or, special skills that you can get for yourself. You get I hit a button. I got a bunch of little electro spiders going out to kill people for me. It's great. But yeah, I mean, the fact that it was an approachable twin stick shooter for me, you play it co-op, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't expect to get much of a story out of a twin stick shooter, but sure as shit, there's a story in there. They released some DLC. I haven't gotten it. I want to say when I played that game, I put 30 or 40 hours into it before
nice.
beating the campaign.
Yeah.
And I think I bought it. I think I bought it for like $15 or something.
Oh, that's not bad.
I gladly would have paid more for that. Knowing what I know after the fact. Definitely worth my time, worth my money. If you're into twin stick shooters, obviously it's easier for me to recommend it than if you're not. There's with twin stick shooters, it's either very hit or miss for me. Either I hate it, or it's something like this, or Enter the Gungeon, where it just sucks me in for tens of hours. Yeah. And this was one of those ones that sucked me in, and I just keep playing it and getting different weapons, and you get a rocket launcher or a minigun, and you're just blowing away enemies. But yeah, it was definitely an unexpected, enjoyable experience for me.
Yeah, I thought, because I played it when it came on, because it came out on Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, it was on
first.
Game Pass for a while.
So I played, I just, and then now it's not on there anymore. So, but with the little bit I did play at the time, like I enjoyed it, and like I said, it was like, and I felt like the twin stick like worked very well. Like, yeah, I'm the same way. Like I don't mind that style, but like I know sometimes I can't like grasp it, and like that one I grasp quite easily, like quite quickly.
More often than not, twin stick shooters for me are like I'll try it, and I'm like, nah, this isn't for me.
Can I offer you? I made a game of zombies in it.
I had a question going back to your number 3.
All right, go ahead. Yeah,
you mentioned I made a game with zombies in it. So, Vampire Survivor, better or worse soundtrack than I made a game with zombies in it?
I mean, come on, that's not even fair. By the way, I have recently replayed I made a game with zombies in it because it is on Steam.
Still hold up?
Oh yeah, it's in a post Vampire Survivors world. It is still a joy to play and significantly less taxing on on everything because it's just like shoot the things that are moving. That's it.
That's all I got for my number 3.
So Vampire Survivors. So and also
it was the Ascent.
No, it keeps on. It's just like. And like you unlock a new level, it doesn't like tell you anything. Like it's just like there, and it's like you just
go into it. And you're like,
yeah,
wait, I unlocked this.
Yeah, like what is this thing?
Where did this come from?
Anyway,
yeah.
Stake number 2.
So number 2 is Live Alive. This was the 2D HD remake of the Super Nintendo game that was never released in the U.S. It was only released in Japan. I've talked to this a lot in the past, but really quickly, it's just, 8 different, you get to go through 7 different characters. They each have their own story, and then there's a final chapter where it kind of all comes together and all that good stuff. And it was just phenomenal. Like, I have not had, I'm very hit or miss when it comes to 2D, like pixel type RPGs. Some of them, from back, obviously there's the classics from back in the day, but especially nowadays, people everyone's still using that style. So every so often I'll give one a go and stuff. Snorting, purring like crazy.
Probably very warm sitting between us.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, that cat is so warm. He'll be sitting there. And then I'll shoo him off, and then I sit down. I'm like, oh, I'm like, it's so
gross.
Warm. But I don't know. I'm very hit or miss when it comes to those 2D, especially nowadays. But man, I was so drawn in, and I'm very hit or miss with the Switch games lately. To be honest, some games really grab me in, and some games just don't whatsoever. And but no, this one, oh my god, it was so good. I couldn't put it down. I actually recently. I don't normally do this, but I actually just went back probably about a month ago, because I knew this was coming about a month ago, and I went back and got that second ending.
Oh, nice.
The other ending.
Yeah.
So I can see the official, because I got the shit ending at the beginning. And that was only because of one decision I made at the end after beating the final boss. And then so this time I made the other decision, and then there was actually a bit more to do right after that, and then I got the more true ending, which was pretty awesome. So that was just awesome. And just, I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, that's what with a lot of people. Honestly, I feel like a lot of people who are talking about it either loved it or hated it. There was kind of no in between.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. All right, my number 2. We're just gonna reveal my number 1 is my number 2 is Immortality.
I asked you if you played that this weekend,
and I fucking loved it. Yes.
I as I've been building office furniture, I've been listening to podcasts again, which I haven't done in 3 years since I stopped commuting downtown. But I was listening to a bunch of Game of the Year podcasts that popped up on all of them from somewhere. I'm like, this sounds like a Mike game. Hey Mike, have you played this game? Oh yeah, I played it.
Yeah, I played the shit out of it, and I still part of the again also on Game Pass. One of the achievements you can get is basically seeing everything, and I just can't pop that trophy. The achievement. I I must have, and I think I have not seen one, and the one I haven't seen is one that like kind of randomly generates without saying much. And I just can't find it. And I've given another like 3 hours of my time just like cruising through trying to find this one. I cannot get it. That all being said, I'm always kind of a sucker for FMV games anyway.
We know.
I'm going to talk about another one here in my what I've been playing. But this one is like it is one of the most unique experiences. I mean, shit. I'm 38 years old at this point, right? So like I
fucking brag about it.
Love like the novelty of games. Like I love when I get a chance to play something new or experience something new.
Sure.
And this was that. This is that all day, every day. The performances by all these actors are like once you get into it once you get into it, take a step back and realizing what the hell they're doing. Especially the main character is like unbelievable. It's like you're playing like she's playing a character she's playing a character who is actually another character, but kind of another character too at the same time. And that character acts different when they're on camera and acts different and they're off camera and acts different when they're being interviewed and it's like, holy Lord. And I oh God, I can never remember her name. Last name's Gage. I forget her first name, like, I don't know. Anyway. Like Manon or Manon. I think it's Manon Gage. I think that's right.
Yeah, I think
she's
so.
like a Juilliard actress.
Yeah.
And like this is the first thing she's ever done is this. And it's just like, holy shit. It is really, really amazing. And everyone else in there too is really, really great.
Fantastic.
It's so I mean, if you haven't played it, like you're basically trying to figure out the mystery of what happened to Marissa Marcel, who is an actress. I think it was the 70s when the first movies came out. Had that one movie basically completely done, doesn't get released. Had another movie where something happened during filming, doesn't get released. She disappears until like I don't know if it was early 90s or early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, and then she tries to make another movie. The same thing, something happens, doesn't get released. So all of her movies don't get released, and trying to figure out what happened to her because, and you're getting given a piece of technology that allows you to comb through all the footage that she's in, and you're trying to figure out what happened to her. And that is like, I don't know, the highest layer of this game, like because there's plenty of layers underneath it and plenty of things to discover and find, and it is an incredible feat of filmmaking too, like making them look like those different periods. Not only this like. It's not like a high definition version of the 70s. Like they filmed it like it was the 70s. Like it's the same aspect ratio and same type of props they would have used. And it's just like it's just for this game. Like these movies actually don't exist. Like these guys made these like sets and like made these like intricate sets and costumes and like had all these actors. And some of these actors are literally in like one scene. So they like hired a guy to dress up, like this and show up for this one. And that's it. That's the only time they show up. And when you're and the way the game plays is just like you go through all these clips, and you can click on anything, and if you click on certain things, it'll zoom you to a new clip, and you can discover a new clip. Like if you see like a rose, you click on a rose, and it might bring you to a different clip that has another flower in it, and it can be from any one of the 3 movies, or the behind the scenes footage, or their interviews, or their like home video that they also have. It can be any of those things. You don't know where you're going when you click on these buttons. And so you're unraveling these 3 movies. You're unraveling the behind the scenes of these 3 movies, the relationships that are going on. You're trying to unraveling the secret thing that happens in the game, and it's remarkable. Like it is a feat of storytelling and filmmaking and game design, and like I don't know. Like I honestly feel like the way I played it was accidentally like the perfect way to play it. Like when I got to the secret, I was just like it was like the perfect time to get to the secret. When I got to the end, it was like the perfect time to get to the end, and it was just like it was like a magical experience. Another one of those things where it's like it's really late and I'm still playing this game because I just gotta know, and I'm clicking on everything and I'm just trying. It's unbelievable. It is extremely adult and not only just like when I'm just not just talking about the nudity, which is there. I'm also talking about just like the subject matter and the depth of emotion and everything else that come along with that story and those characters and those just really intense scenes when it's like the very important parts to what happened to Marissa. It's so good. It's incredible. It's on Game Pass. Please go play it.
It is. I'll talk about it quickly now. It is one of my honorable mentions. It killed me not putting this on my list. I just was. That was one of the things I was struggling with. 4 or 5 there. That was definitely one of them because I. Oh my God! When that came out, like that week, that's all I did. That's all I did. It was clicking on so much shit and like trying to figure this all out. Like what the hell was going on? And like what else can I click on? What else can I figure out? What else can I discover? Oh shit! I just hit a button I didn't expect to hit, and what the hell just showed up? What is that? Like where did that come from?
What is that? How did I do that? How do I do it again?
Actually, there was the first time, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Without saying it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I did do that. That was my like. Wait, what the hell did I just do to make that happen? Like I had to figure out like how did I make that happen.
The scene in which I found it, I don't even know if I want to say it. Like I said, it was one of those scenes where it's like
me the fuck out.
Yeah, it was like one of those scenes where it's just like
I didn't know what was going on.
And it's like you can't. It's like even when you find it's just like, like Am I breaking it? Like, am I doing it right? Like, is this working?
Yeah.
Like, is it nothing? Like, is it, did I miss like a cut here or something? Like what's, oh God, it's so good. It's so amazingly good.
Fucking crazy. I gotta get back and really finish that up. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Art number 2.
My number 2 is Horizon Forbidden West.
Number 1 Madden. Just say it right now.
Game of the decade.
Oh my God! I will kill you both. I will quit this podcast forever.
What you see? There's a discussion that we had at the bar on Saturday.
I will quit.
Let's fuck with steak when you get
God
here.
Damn it.
Horizon Forbidden West. So I think it's no secret to anyone who's listening to this how much I loved the Horizon Zero Dawn. It was my game of the year for the year that came out. This game, I'm pretty sure we talked at length when the game was released and our, what you're playing. Loved everything about this game. Everything, like Steak talked about. It's a sequel. It's an improvement. Everything. It's bigger. It's better. You still have your robot dinosaurs there to, whatever robot monsters, whatever the hell you want to call them, that you're fighting, and you're, strategically breaking off pieces to wear them down and expose their soft parts. The story was. The story might have been the biggest letdown for me in this game, and that's not the whole story. 95% of this story was awesome. The ending, I thought, sucked.
I would agree.
I thought the ending. I didn't like the ending, and I didn't like that it was just blatantly like, we're setting up for a sequel. That wasn't the ending of Zero Dawn. Zero Dawn, you felt you got a complete story, and you do get a complete story here, but they also throw the very cheap, the very, I'll call it cheap, here's this new big thing coming, and we're setting up for the next one, and I really didn't like that. That took a lot away from the game. Not a lot, but it in deciding between a 1 and a 2, that definitely worked against it. But I loved pretty much everything else about this game. Like I like that you're doing similar to the first one, side missions that have a story and have impact. They're not just, fetch quests to go do this thing. There's, we'll give you a quick story behind them. If you were really into the first one, you got all these characters coming back. You had new characters coming in that, kind of hit or miss for me. But again, I really love this franchise and the world they're building. I wish they could have done something different with that ending. I don't know exactly what I wish they would have done, just not what they did.
I love that crew you build in that game too. I love so many of those characters I think are so very interesting. I think they have a little bit of an Aloy problem, where it's just like she's not super interesting.
Yeah,
and
and part of that
everyone else is super interesting. Like I love all those other like all those people in your home base. I've checked in with them every single time because he always has something interesting or something else going on. And Aloy, I think, had more going for her in the first game with like her father figure dying and figuring out like being an outcast and things like that. Like this one is just like there needs to be there needs to be something. And for her,
they need to find a balance there too, because they had a big problem early on when the game came out that she was too chatty while you're off.
They patched that actually.
Yeah, they patched that out, or not out, but they significantly reduced it. But yeah, I mean, the Aloy character definitely seems like more of a vessel for the story than like a character that you're supposed to be super invested in and care about. I care more about the world and the story. I thought the plot behind this one is that. So in the first one, she stopped the destruction of the world. In this one, it's kind of like, okay, we need to rebuild now. Mm-hmm. And you're not really rebuilding. You're rebuilding the Gaia system that, was in place before everything went to shit in the first one. Which, again, I think that story is super interesting. I wish they could have nailed that ending.
Yeah, the ending didn't hit great with me either. I mean, Aloy kicks ass, but she need something bad needs to happen to her.
She needs some trauma in her life,
for real. She needs to have something that she feels really, I don't know, saving the world. I mean, obviously that's important, but she needs to have one of her loved ones die. I think would be a big emotional move forward for her.
There was the one guy.
Okay,
but no, I get what you're saying. She had more of that in the original. In Zero Dawn, she, like you mentioned, her father figure dies. She finds out that the doctor who is building this program to save the world and keep it ongoing forever is she's a descendant of, and that person's gone. And here's how they're gone and why they're gone.
Yeah.
And here's what this terrible son of a bitch did to her and the rest of the planet. And then at the very end, she finds the place where Elizabeth died. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, she had that, sympathetic storyline in the first one. Needs more of it or something more going forward.
Just maybe, I don't know. She needs to, do something bad. If that makes any sense. Lose it a little bit. You've been having, the literal world on your shoulders.
The existence of the entire planet and human race is on you.
At some point, you gotta have a breaking point where someone messes something up for you and you just go off and you just you punch him in the fucking face. It's there's gotta be there's gotta be a chink in her in her honorable armor. Is what I'm saying is
can she just put an arrow through Silence's face?
He would be a prime candidate
because him tiptoeing the line of what side he's on is really getting old.
Yeah.
They need to make some. They need to steer things a little bit differently in the next one that they do. Maybe there's DLC coming out. Maybe that'll significantly change the end of this story, and it'll leave people a better taste in their mouth and give a better direction for the next sequel.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it is, but there's just something that's that rings kind of hollow in her personality and character.
She's a vessel for the story. She's not the story. I'm just giving an explanation for it. I'm not justifying it.
Yeah, I know. Steak.
That's my 2.
So I did put that in. I haven't gotten through most of it. I did put that as an honorable mention, mainly for it is definitely one of the greatest looking games I've played this past year because it's absolutely phenomenal. I love, again, and you said it, you guys have said it. Aloy, I'll go even harsher. Aloy sucks in this game. I don't like her at all. I love everyone else. Everyone else is awesome. I feel their emotions. I feel shit for Aloy. I don't feel like she's genuine about anything. I just feel like the character itself, it was so different from the first game. I just don't. She's so boring. Anytime she's involved, I'm just can you let the other guys let them talk? Just shut up and listen.
I'm gonna stand in the corner and watch these guys. Just watch these guys discover.
Let them figure it out, and then we'll go do the killing. Yeah. and then we'll let them talk some more.
I'll sit in the corner and watch them talk. Watch them talk about music.
Right. Exactly.
Also, I won't say it's kind of a spoiler for the game, but
but I'm gonna finish.
I have a thought there. It involves Beta and Aloy.
yeah, I'm gonna finish it. It's just
how this should have been like a 45-minute game.
But yeah, but that's why. That's why I wanted to still give it some type of a mention because like I don't think it's like this like terrible game that a lot of people have been like out there like 'cause it's not terrible like, but at the same time, and it is, and I think that was the thing for me. It's like earlier this year, right before that came out, I finally finished Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
So the fact that Forbidden West was just more of that like didn't help. For my aspect, just because I just went through so much of that,
And
so now, like, eventually, when I get back in, I will probably get back into it. But like I said, it's just, but also too, like I said, just the whole Halo. I'm just like, God, I don't like her. Like
another, I don't know what you call it, a game design choice or a plot problem or something in there. An issue I have with it is you start off the game and it seems like Ayla's, she's been alive and well and doing things since Zero Dawn ended.
Yeah.
Why do I have to relearn all these skills I learned in the first game?
Oh,
Well, she left behind. She has a really early throwaway line. I was like, man, I should have brought my stuff. Like kind of like it's not verbatim that, but basically it was just like at the very beginning of the game when she's like God, who's the guy's name that that follows her into the wild?
Varl.
And like Varl's like,
Don't ask me how the hell I remember that.
that was a good pull. I would not have that in a million years. Yeah, she has like a throwaway line. I was like, yeah, like basically asked like, hey, where's your stuff? Like, yeah, I left it back there. Like it's like that's kind of it. Like, and like, oh, that's why you have none of your stuff.
Well, all right then.
Yeah, all right. Well, that's dumb. Savior of the universe. Steak. It is time.
Oh,
Number one game
here.
of the year.
Number one.
If it's not Madden, I quit.
No, it's a game I was being very quiet about earlier. And that would be Midnight Suns.
Oh, watch out.
So I am actually the not complete opposite, but I love all the talking. I love it. I feel like I am in the comic world. I am in their world. I love every.
Maybe that's part of the problem. I'm not a comic book
Yeah.
guy.
No, it is so comic-y. So like, it doesn't shock me at all that people have an issue.
You know
with
what?
That. Like,
it makes sense too because the ones I hate talking to the most are all the ones who aren't in any of the movies.
oh man, oh my God, Blade is my man. Blade is my
No,
man.
Blade I like talking to.
I don't care for Nico. I'll be
Ghost
honest.
Rider's okay. I
care
don't
for
like Nico. I don't like Magic.
I like Magic.
I don't like
Magic.
either of them.
I've got the more I've gotten into it. Like I didn't care for either of them at the beginning, but the more I've actually really started to hang out more with Magic, and I'm really starting to enjoy the stuff with her. Nico just sucks. Nico's just a terrible character.
You talk to her every time,
and
it's always like. They have a group in the game. It's a Magic thing. They call themselves emo kids. She is an emo kid.
She 100%. Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. It's horrible.
I don't got time for that shit.
No, I can't stand. Yeah, I can't stand her. But like, oh my God, the amount of hours I was putting into this game and at a fast pace, and I still have so much to do. I just hit Act 3, and I think I'm at the 50-hour mark. So there's so much, but I'm doing like I said, I'm doing everything, trying to get as much done as possible, and actually for me, even I am not a strategic combat tactic guy, but it's not that exactly. It is, but it isn't.
Right.
And I can get behind the cards because I know what the cards do. And sure, I still gotta think, okay, well, if I knock this guy back, I can knock him into this, and I gotta still. So the battles I really struggle with are sometimes when you have to play go against some of the bigger baddies. I mean, they're just tough, but it's great because there's times where I'm like, man, that battle just took me over a half hour. I'm gonna get a shit rating. Oh, I got 2 stars. Awesome, which is the average. So
okay.
I'm like, oh, cool. So I did pretty much what I was. I didn't go I didn't do better than I was, but I did what I was supposed to do. Cool.
Right. And some of those battles can be kind of complicated with the win terms too. So fairly in the first act early on, there's one where you're fighting Venom in the bell tower.
Oh, yeah.
And to win, you have to have him knocked down, and you have to use a card to ring the bell. But to use that card to ring the bell, you have to have 10 energy points to play that card.
Right. So you got to kind of think about this. So it's okay, so I got to knock him out, but I can't use any of my really good powers to do it.
Right.
Because I need that in order to hit the bell.
So you're strategizing to the end game.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you can't hit the bell unless he's down.
Right. Okay.
And then at the end, if you get to the end of your turn, he gets back up.
Yeah.
So then you're
And he gets a
fucked
full
with
health bar again.
Woo.
So you're
Wee.
screwed. Like, yes, you have to really. So there's like some strategic. Like, I can wrap my head around that kind of stuff, like,
Right.
which is fine. But it's usually like more like the tactical games, like like Tactics Ogre or Final Fantasy
Yeah.
Tactics, like those types. That's the stuff. Even XCOM, I could.
Yeah,
not
no,
do. Like,
yeah.
it's too much for me. But like this is more of a. And I appreciate the fact that they kind of mainstreamed it a little better. Like
Yeah.
that was.
I mean,
I was hoping they would, because it's Marvel.
They had to with Marvel, yeah.
Exactly. That's what I was
You
kinda
can't sit there and
hoping
put out a Marvel game and have it be, something at the level of XCOM where you're really thinking
Oh, yeah,
every
no way.
move through,
Right.
and you're trying to work out percentages. If I'm this far away and I shoot at that
right,
guy,
exactly.
I have a 38% chance of hitting him, but really I have a 0% chance of hitting because you never hit him at 38%.
Right.
Yeah, no, they had to, for lack of a better term, kind of dumb it down, make it more user friendly. Let's put it that way. For something with Marvel to, it's a broader audience you're shooting for.
Exactly. And I was so worried about this game because like they just were not showing shit like
Right.
before it came out and everything like
This
that.
is such a
Which is
weird
still
lead up.
So weird. It is. It's so odd.
Like I would get like weird Twitter advertisements, and
all
like
the
that's
time.
what that's
All
what I,
the
that's
time.
what I would get.
That's it.
But
Right.
beyond that, like
So
I
they weren't showing a ton, like through your normal channels. Like there wasn't like an IGM
Right.
or a
Well,
Game
right,
Informer or a
right.
GameSpot
Yeah.
like feature story preview type thing. On Twitter, they were posting shit every day
Yes.
for like a month or so leading up to the
Okay.
game, and they went through like a solid week where they had it like Deadpool took over our account and he's
Well, I
showing you
remember
stuff in the
that.
game.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So I mean, they were showing things. I don't think they actually showed any combat though, really leading
No,
up
not
to
really.
it.
They,
Right- right
quickly,
now?
briefly.
right now I have absolutely no idea how that game plays. Outside of like what you guys have mentioned, like
Right.
I'm making I'm making assumptions in my mind at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever seen like a full round of that game
Right.
being played.
No, it's
That being said, I'm very interested in the way after you guys have talked about it.
100%. Because and this was thank you Microsoft Rewards program,
Ah.
because that is one of the things I redeemed my $100 gift card for. And after seeing all the reviews and people talking about it, I'm like, well, fuck, this actually might work out. I'm like, all right, you know what? Fine, I'll redeem my gift card. I'll pay for it with that, because then, God forbid, if it didn't
Yeah,
work out,
exactly.
it didn't work out. 50 hours later,
Yeah.
and I'm not even close to being done.
Right.
Like,
Completely unrelated to the game itself. Kudos to Microsoft for having a super simple refund policy on digital games.
Oh, what you had to return?
What?
What'd you return?
I bought Midnight Suns. I pre-ordered it and installed it, and I was playing in my front room where my TV is way on the other side of the room, and the UI was just way too small for me to read, and there's no way to adjust it.
very tiny. Yeah, it
So
is
I returned it, and I'm like, I can't do this with this UI. It's too small. There's no way to adjust. They refunded my money within half an hour.
Oh wow!
Oh, nice.
And then, I treated myself for Black Friday and bought a Series S and put it in my office
Oh, dude.
where I'm sitting 3 feet away from my TV.
Yeah, there you go.
So I rebought it, and now the UI is fine on that TV, and
Right.
the game runs fine on that system, and I can
Nice.
just sit there and play it and, not do my job and just play video games during work.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, oh my God. Like everything about this game. And like I said, the only reason why I still am not playing it is because there was other stuff I wanted to play.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, it was like, God, I had to force myself to I actually forced myself to, once I hit that Act 3,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, perfect. Put it down. Got some other stuff to go play, other stuff that came out. Like, let's go play this for a little bit, and then we'll come back.
I say, and the thing about that is you can do that because there's no complicated controls that you need to learn for combat.
Right.
You pick a
Right.
card, you press X.
Right. If anything, it might take me a couple minutes to realize, okay, where did I leave off, like, story? Like, 'cause
Yeah.
now I'm at, like, the beginning of my day. So it's like, okay, before I go into battle, what people was I supposed to talk to? What
Right.
stuff that I need to go complete in the Abbey? Because I unlocked the entire Abbey. I got that whole thing unlocked. Like, every time I had I got to the level I needed to be at to, like, get that next blood gate. I did it. And then I would just go and explore the Abbey. Like, okay, now what new areas can I reach? And like with my new powers and stuff. And that was like almost as like I said, that was just as exciting as the combat for me and stuff like so. Like just everything about Midnight Suns. I am shocked. Like I did not anticipate this being a game for me, and I fucking love it.
That always helps, right?
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
100%. Like the fact that it was and then, like I said, like, even after all the good reviews, I was like, okay, well, hopefully I'll enjoy some of this. And I did not expect it to grab me like it. It was just like, holy
That's so
shit.
that's so great.
Like, this
That's
is
awesome.
awesome. Like, I want to talk to everyone.
All right, so my number one's God of War.
Hey, me too.
What?
Go ahead. I'll get into how this ended up there for me.
I didn't even know you played it.
What?
Do you even play 2018?
No.
Oh my god. What is happening right now?
Okay. Really quick. When you put Horizon at 2, I started seriously thinking. I'm like, what is his number 1? I'm like, it's not God of War. So what the fuck?
I've played Call of Duty with Art. I know he's not that high on it. So like,
Call of Duty's a Call of Duty. I hate them all.
exactly.
I'll play them. I'm at level 150, whatever I'm at, but I hate it.
Oh my god.
Real quick, my summary of how this ended up this way for me, and then we can go into all the nuts and bolts.
Holy fuck.
In the 2 weeks ago, I'm sitting there trying to put my list together. I'm like, I guess it's Horizon. I'm like, honestly, the way I would describe it is like, this was the year of meh for me. And then I popped in God of War, and I watched a little recap video of 2018, which is not sufficient. I need to go.
Not at all.
I need to go watch something else.
I was curious. I was like, no.
I don't know how you summed up a 40-hour game into a 3-minute video, but I tried.
Yeah.
You bring the bag to the mountain. Game over.
I got the the Bart Simpson gif. Well, you tried.
Yeah.
And then I started playing the game. And this is the first game all year that fucking dug its hooks into me, and I'm like, within the first hour, I'm like, I'm in, I'm ready to go. Let's fucking go. That being said, I am probably at maybe a third of the way through the game, and that first third has drawn me in enough that I'm sold. That was my game of the year, just there. That's all I needed. I needed something to just grab me. Because like I said, everything else, I'm like, I guess it's Horizon. And you heard what I said about Horizon. I love the game, but that ending really was a kick in the pants. I think part of it is the benefit that I didn't play it 2018, so this doesn't feel like a sequel to me. This is all new game to me.
Sure.
And I've just hit the part where I'm starting to really get the hang of the combat, where I can chain shit together, and I'm switching between weapons in the middle of fights.
Yeah.
And I don't even have all the upgrades and the runes and all that kind of goofy shit.
Wait to get to that shit.
Yeah.
That's
I don't want to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm not going to tell you shit.
But yeah, that's the story of how this ended up in my number 1.
Holy
Do you
Lord.
think this is going to make you go back and play 2010 or 2018?
Eventually.
Okay. Because even if you watch something, you really should play it.
Yeah.
If you can.
Well, especially
I'm not sure what you watched or like what you saw, but it's
I watched the video that's on disc.
Oh,
okay.
Okay, so just that. So
Yeah.
you didn't go back on YouTube and watch.
There was a GameSpot video that had like, here's a recap of
the
God of War
5-minute
20.
video of what you
I
should
got
look at.
you.
It might.
Okay.
I think it was
A
closer
little
to like 8 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
But like
That's
I watched
probably
through
not
it, and it was still one of those things where like they're talking super fast and making little quips over the story. I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll watch. I knew there was the thing on the disc that I can watch. I'll just watch that. That's
Yeah.
fine. Eventually, I'll probably go back and play it. I don't think
I really want you to go back
there's
and
enough
play
game here. There's enough game here that I'm not going to go right
100%.
after and play it because,
100%.
like, right now I have this game ongoing. I have Midnight Suns ongoing. I have
Vampire Survivors.
no Solitaire ongoing.
Starting tomorrow.
I have Crisis Core. In the middle of playing.
Yeah.
That
Like
didn't make you. Do you play it at all? Do you play it? Do you play it?
We'll talk about it later.
Oh, ooh, watch out!
Like I have all these ongoing, and I still have New Tales from Borderlands in the wrapper. I have Gotham Knights in the wrapper. I have The Quarry in the wrapper. So I have a ton of shit to play before I jump into
Before
another
February when more stuff comes out.
yeah,
I mean, is any of that February stuff up my alley?
dude, I was.
Actually, besides Like a Dragon, probably not.
Speaking of,
I'm not even sure Like a Dragon's up my alley if it's the brawler type.
speaking of in the wrapper, I have Elden Ring in the wrapper. I was like, I gotta play it, so I know
No.
about God of Game of the Year, and that didn't
you
happen.
don't. As someone who bought it and sold it back already,
Yeah.
you don't.
I'm gonna give it a spin.
Here, off topic. My take on Elden Ring. I'm gonna give you 2 takes here. One is the very rational thought: From Software games are just not for me. I'm not the target audience. I don't enjoy that. The irrational part that just likes to spew bullshit. Fuck those games. Fuck Elden Ring. Fuck everything they've done. It's all bullshit. If you're some kind of masochist who likes getting your teeth kicked in and think you've accomplished something, you're not. You're just someone who likes to waste your time.
That being said, I'm still gonna try it.
So God of War.
God of War. Not fuck that game.
So I always like saying the games I didn't play as well. So I didn't play, and because of God of War, my 80 some hours of playtime on that, because of Call of Duty, because I was like, I'm finishing the Battle Pass because I paid for it, and which I did finish, by the way. And Vampire Survivors, I didn't play Tinykin, I didn't play Cult of the Lamb, I didn't play Elden Ring.
Cult of the Lamb is one of the ones I missed that I
I think you would like. I think that's up your alley more than mine. But I still want to try because I know it's on a lot of people's list. I think those are the big ones I didn't play.
Cult of the Lamb's a big one. One I've heard come up on a bunch of the podcasts I've listened to that I feel like I need to go back and check out if I can find it on sale somewhere. Sifu.
Oh, Seafood in the Wrapper because that was one of my Black Friday deals. I got that one. I didn't play that one either.
Those are the two that popped to the front of my mind. But my takeaway from this year is I need to start playing more games that aren't the big name game in my wheelhouse. Like I need to start playing more of those indie games.
There's so many good games out there.
The list I could give you, Arts.
Mike, you would give me a backlog that I won't get through before I die. Okay,
I'll give you one at a time.
Well, let me get through Cult of the Lamb first.
Get through Cult of the Lamb. All right. Anyway, so God of War. So I platinumed the game. I did. So there's two, just like in God of War 2018. There's like a couple like very end of the game bosses. Yeah. Like, not even end of the game, like post game.
Post credits.
That's just like, I just smashed my face up against that fight like far too many times. And the only way to really to win those fights is to really get into the minutia of the armor system that I don't give a fuck about. Yeah. So I just boosted difficulty down.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
If you're doing it like specifically chasing the platinum,
it was literally I had two more things to do, and I was like, and both they were both like hard as dick fights. So I was just like, this is like not enjoyable. So I'm not. I want to enjoy it. I'm so close. I'm just boosting it down to story mode. I mean, I'm very much so connected to this game. One of the the differentiating factors between this one and like Horizon in terms of like the sequelness of it was just like the unbelievable quality of the side missions. Like they had so much story, added so much depth to these characters I thought I knew, and it was just like I had to peel myself back to the main story, which was also super interesting because I'm just like, I just want to, I just want to finish this thread of this story of Mimir, like we just walk, you come upon a door and Mimir's like, who's on your hip? Like the entire game, which is super awesome.
Yeah.
It's real fucking weird at the beginning when you don't know what's going on.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that is one of, see, that's what I'm talking about. That is one of the greatest moments in the 2018. But the whole Mimir thing is one of the greatest moments in 2018.
That is,
and that it makes Ragnarok so awesome.
So goddamn funny.
I didn't think about that.
I'm sitting
there
sitting there when you first get back to the house, and like I'm used to hearing Kratos' voice, and
God. Who the fuck's this Randy?
I heard their voice
in the head.
I'm like, what the? Did they just change Kratos' voice? And like, I walked past the head a few times, and like I didn't see it moving. And then I see Atreus just having a conversation with this disembodied head. I'm like, oh, you're a thing.
Oh, that's so.
And then he picks him up and puts him on his belt and just walks away. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Something like this most half the time.
Yeah.
How amazingly out of context that is for you. Like, oh my God, that's so funny.
I didn't even consider that. No. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we all just accepted there's a decapitated head on his belt, and that's totally fine.
Listen, I don't know everything about Norse mythology, okay?
Oh God, neither do I. And I think that's one of the fun parts too, because a lot of like what they know about Norse mythology we've learned from Thor and the Marvel movie and shit like that. And this is very different than that.
Yes, well, and that's one of the things I appreciate. Like, no background. First hour of the game, there's fucking Thor and Odin.
Yep.
Talking, and you're fighting Thor right fucking away. Yeah. It's like there's no easing into it. Here's Thor. Here's the name you know. It's definitely not Chris Hemsworth.
It is not.
That's for sure.
Not even fact Chris Hemsworth.
No. Well, it's funny because I was playing today and the kid was in the basement and I'm showing him like the book with all the I'm like, oh yeah, and here's Thor. He's like, that's not Thor. I'm like, this is a different Thor.
Yeah. This is a more accurate Thor.
And I'm like, and here's Odin, who kind of looks like the Odin from the movies, but different Odin.
But how awesome is that Odin?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Like you're not even like into the meat.
No, I'm not
even into the meat of his performance.
But it's like I like just the fact. Look, in the first hour, they threw that at me, and they had me crying at a wolf dying. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
oh my God,
that was
Art.
An emotional scene. But
oh my God.
You got to keep going.
Oh my God, Art.
I plan on keep going.
It's so good. You you got to tell me. Just like as you go
some good
along,
stuff.
just keep texting me everything that's going as you go
So
along.
where did you leave off?
Yeah, where are you right now?
I think I checked the clock before I left. I think I'm around, was it 7 or 8 hours? And I just got Tier or whatever the hell the guy's name is.
Oh, okay.
Tier, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
So I know I'm still early, but like clockwise, according
you've hit the end of what I would call Act 1 of that game.
Yeah, I would agree.
And then now you are ready. You are about to get into the meat and the potatoes.
Now you get to, now you're building the home.
Here we go.
Oh,
Here we go.
God, it's so good. Okay.
Yeah.
So there is. Oh man. So I need to like really change the way I'm thinking about how I want to talk about this. I do not want to fucking.
Should I leave?
I don't. No.
But I did not anticipate Art
No.
playing it at all. So
No. Especially not after playing 2018.
it was a Christmas gift.
Yeah. No,
Merry
that's
Christmas
great.
to you. So yeah. So like when you're talking about like what Steak was talking about, alluding to earlier, like I kind of appreciated it because there were some points in time where I wasn't super into the fighting system all the time. I appreciated the change up. I appreciated the curveball. I was talking about the side missions. At one point you kind of walk up to a door, and Mimir's like, "Okay, oh man, listen, we gotta get this key. We gotta come back here. I gotta fix something I did." So I'm like, of course I'm gonna do that. Like I'm gonna completely
disregard. I do remember that. That was a good mission.
Oh,
that was a good side
and that is like the beginning.
That was very
and there's a bunch of those that are just like that.
There's a lot of those. Yeah, that one was really good.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to spoil anything for Art, but there's like a couple of them.
That was worth doing.
There's a couple of them. Yeah. Oh my god. And it's not like
It was difficult.
yeah,
but it was worth doing.
and it's not like okay, you got this like super powered thing.
Yeah.
Like you got bonuses and buffs and things and armor and whatever. But it's just like I'll talk about the armor in a minute. But just like the payoff of those little side missions was so incredible just to like advance these characters that I loved already. There's some really amazing subtle story beats too with like the character interactions. Again, I gotta be vague because I'm not gonna fuck this up for Art. And
I appreciate that.
oh yeah, and there's some really really cool things that they do with some characters from the first game that really like Kratos' like personality is you can see the building blocks from like even like the early like PlayStation 2 games to now like it's like all these little things that have been put together to create current Kratos. And like there's even more there's so much more of that in this game. And fuck Art, I wish you finished the game. But like
Sorry.
no, you're fine. I'm so happy you're playing it because it's so amazingly good. Both the end scenes do so much for that world, Kratos as a character, the story they're trying to tell. Like there's so much going on, and just those two ending scenes alone, that just propelled us so far. Like this is like my God of War. This is like my game of the year. I won't say by a mile because Immortality I really really love too. Like that one sticks with me. I think about that one randomly. But God of War, like it's just a moment in time for me that it's like I'm so attached to all of these characters. Like there's not a stinker in the bunch. And the new people they added on, like Angerboda and things like Angerboda, her section and her stuff is so amazing and cool.
I thoroughly enjoyed.
And like that's like the main complaint which people talk about is like her section.
That, no.
I don't understand that at all.
That was actually the better of those areas.
Oh my
that was
God.
The much better version of those areas.
And just like the way she attacks. Again, I'm not going to spoil it for Art, but just like it's so unexpected.
Yeah.
And such a great change of pace for that portion of the game.
He's kind of close to that part, isn't he?
He's getting there.
He's pretty close to that part.
And just like on top of like the technical aspects of the game, like how beautiful the game is.
Yeah.
How like the fighting system is so good.
It is really good. I mean, even what I have now, I'm sure there's more that'll be built onto it, but
oh goodness gracious, there is. there's so much.
Wait till you start getting like the runes and stuff like that.
Like I said,
a
like
whole
like,
other aspect.
Even
of it.
outside of that, like I said, I'm just starting to get in the flow of like being able to do everything all at once.
Yeah.
You throw your axe, you freeze a guy, you whip out the chaos blade, you start slashing people and pulling on fire. You call your axe back, you hack up a few more guys, you pull your shield out when someone gets close to you and parry their attack. You go after them. I could do without those little fucking crawly green things.
You get the blades of chaos out on them.
Yeah, fuckers.
What I do is I aim at them and I just jam on square until Atreus kills them.
100%.
I'm like,
100%.
I'm not swinging at the air trying to get these things.
And even talking about like Atreus' growth as like a character, and he has so many cool moments and so many cool little story moments that like, oh god, it is really a feat of on so many different levels. It is really incredible. And like there's a little bit near, not like the very end I love, but like the lead up to the very end, to be very vague about it, doesn't make a ton of sense. Like when you really kind of break it down, just like, well, they could have just. It was one of those things where just like.
I think that kind of put me off a little because of that. Like,
it's just like, why don't I? It was like the Lord of the Rings thing. It was just like, all right, just get on the dragon and fly to Mordor. Like, what are you doing? Like, it was like why do we walk all this way?
Oh my god.
there's a little bit.
That is the perfect way to put it. Oh my god. Now that you say that, like, that is the perfect way to put it.
And it's one of those things like if you
let's fucking go.
Right, and like I'm not like I could have easily like it's one of those things where like you turn your brain off and this is fine, but like wait a minute, like this whole game is turning my brain on. So like I can't not do that. So like that's like my only like real like complaint about the story and the series of events. But like, the things that happen in that series of events is super important.
It's cool. It's important.
Super fun. Like oh my god, like Thor's family is so cool in this game, and like the things you do when you're away to that realm that you weren't at till the end.
I didn't. That was interesting. That was very cool.
That's the thing.
The way it was done was very neat. That was very cool.
That's the thing about those different sections. It's just like,
yes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, okay. Feel how you want to feel about what you're doing action wise, but just like the story pieces of it, the importance of the pieces of it, the cool environmental things you get to do while you're doing that. The little bit of like environmental storytelling that's happening when you're just like looking around and listening to people, or like what? It's just so engaging and incredible. So yeah, like again, and I talked about this when I talked about Horizon. Like I went back to the main house, and I was just like, all right, this is it. I did the same thing at God of War. I went back to the main section. I got into the room. I was just like, fuck, I'm done. That's it. 100%. I was like, I've 100%ed everything. There's nothing else for me to really do. Like, it's just like rest. You can now you can rest, Kratos.
So let me ask this, since you platinumed it, and this won't spoil anything. But so I rolled credits, and then you unlocked a couple quests like right after that.
Yeah.
Is there another cutscene like a big cutscene like how the end of the first one had?
Yes.
Okay.
There's two things.
Okay.
In the end game that are super important.
You have to beat those two major villains. Because like in 2018,
no.
2018 you didn't have to beat the super hard boss. So that's what I was like. Do you have to or do you just have to complete that quest you get at the end
for the platinum, or for
the
story bits?
For the story bits. No, I'm saying like. So what do I? No. So I rolled credits. I haven't been back since. Like okay, I just haven't been back since.
He hasn't been back since.
I know. Because,
did you leave in the house?
No.
You got to finish the game in the house.
Or the way you were at. Yeah, no. That's what I was wondering. So is it there? Is that
No.
where it happens?
No.
See, that's where I would have done and be like, oh, okay, there's nothing, and then I would have ended anyway.
Oh God. Okay. Oh man. So
you have to let me know. You have to tell me where to go, so I can at least see whatever those scenes are.
So you finish the game and then you stop playing.
Like how you walk. You know how you start walking back while the credit.
And that was it.
That was it.
Oh.
And then, like I said, I let all that finish. I let all that finish, and then I got that new quest.
Okay.
And then that was where I basically stopped.
Okay. Yeah. There's. Okay, I take it back. There's three things. There's usually one super quick.
Okay.
One is like a cutscene, and the third one is just really fucking cool.
Cool. Okay. All right.
It's really.
Well, you have to tell me just where to go,
and
then I'll go do that.
I'm gonna tell you do the really cool one first.
Okay.
Because it continues to be cool.
Okay.
As you do other things.
Cool. Sounds good.
I
figured there was probably stuff, but like I said, it got to that point where like I was like, all right, I got all this other stuff. Like I hit roll credits, and I got all this other stuff to play.
Yeah.
The only thing I was gonna do was go back to the house, and then I didn't get a chance to go do that because that's what you had to do in the first one to get that bonus.
Yeah. There's one really cool piece of dialogue, like when you go back to the house.
Oh, okay.
But like the really really cool stuff for those three things, I'll point to the map for you.
Sweet.
Oh, but yeah. So like I've done everything. Like I said I've done everything I can possibly do in that game. I really don't want to wait for more. It's like oh god.
It even does another one.
Oh, they have to. I think based on how it ended.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that, but it's just I don't know. You never know.
Honestly,
you never know.
Give me a comic book.
He got so much shit for this one. Like,
fuck.
So we'll see.
For what?
Well, just like during the development and everything of it, like everyone.
Yeah, what's Ragnarok? Yeah.
Yeah. That too, yeah.
So yeah.
I'm just hoping it didn't like. You know how it's like. You never know. Sometimes people get just so much. It's like why go through that again? Like you know. What I mean?
No,
like,
I understand
some
that too.
developers just get that feeling.
But I cannot. Well, I mean, this is the end of their Norse.
Well, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. That would say to me that they're not finishing the God of War story. That they're finishing the Norse mythology
part
aspect of a story. Of that, you know what I mean?
I got you. Fair.
Oh, it's so good. So I don't even do the math. That's 2 5s. That's it. It's like God of War Ragnarok is ours.
2 5s and what a 4?
My 3.
Yeah. So like that's
done.
That's it.
That's done.
God of War wins Game of the Year again for us.
Hey.
2018 and Ragnarok.
I'm on a hot streak.
This is the first one I've gotten in a while.
On a hot streak.
I mean, shit. I mean, I didn't. So number 6. It was number 6 for me. I boycotted Final Fantasy. And then Control. Control is my number 1.
I had Control. I had this. I had Guardians. I had what was before that? Control.
Yeah.
I had Control.
Ooh.
What was before that?
God of War.
Oh, okay, so I got 3 in a row. I've 3-peated.
All right, I gotta go to the bathroom again because I've been drinking. All right, and I had 2 coffees before I got here, so I'm at maximum capacity. Who wants to start talking about their honorable mentions?
I only have 1, so I can talk about it.
Go for it.
It'll probably be quick, but
God, I really gotta pee. Oh God, talk about God of War too much.
Steak, have you? This seems like it'll be up your alley. Have you played Marvel Snap at all?
Yes.
I don't regard mobile games as games, really.
No, I'm with you.
That game is digital crack.
God damn it, dude. One night I think I played it for like 3 hours straight.
Yeah.
I had to like plug my phone in. It was dying.
Yeah.
Like
I've had to do that a couple times. It'll be like, Karen decides she's going to bed early. The kid's already in bed. It's like, I haven't yet ventured down to the basement to start playing video games. And I'm like, all right, well, I'll fuck around and do this for a while. And I look up, it's like 1:30 in the morning. I'm like,
fuck.
Well, I guess I'm not going down to the basement to play video games tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game is digital crack. It's a card battling game, and
but like in the simplest form though, possible.
The simplest form. A game takes you less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, minimum strategy thinking.
Yeah,
minimum.
I'm still in the lower ranks. I don't know what the hell I'm in, but I don't know if other people are really bad at this game or I'm really good. A lot of people
both.
A lot of people can't seem to grasp the strategy that you need 2 out of 3.
Right.
They will. So many people will sit there and keep hammering points on a location that I've conceded already.
Right.
Like I have no intention of playing another card there. I'm not even looking there, and they just don't catch on.
I've won quite a few times on that where I'm just like, okay, yeah, you okay, that's yours.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get the other 2.
Right.
and win this fucking game.
Right.
I'm gonna snap you too and take all more of your points.
See, I prefer it the other way when they snap me and then I beat them.
Oh, I snap the shit out of people. Fuck them. Give me your points.
Mike, you played Marvel Snap?
No, I have other addictions.
I say it. As I said, it's digital crack.
Oh,
Stay
God.
the fuck away. Oh my God.
I would say, and one of the things I appreciate is that so far, granted, like I said, still in the lower levels, I don't see the need to spend a cent on this game yet. I don't think it'll hit that point because with your when your collection score goes up, you get random cards.
Yep.
Sure, there's some cards I see played out there that I'm like, fuck. I really wish I had that Captain America card because people keep pulling that on me and it's really fucking pissing me off. But for the time being, at least there's no need for me to spend any money on this game.
Yeah.
They have a battle pass, which
I've held off on. Yeah, I actually I have not played it in a little bit now. But the last Battle Pass was the Black Panther one, and I will say, like, as I'm like leveling up and like missing out on those cards, and like I see what some of them did, and I was just like, fuck. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I was not gonna spend the money, but it did cross my mind, and it at least crossed my mind.
If I was
that's a ringing endorsement. Like I thought about spending money on this free thing.
If I was going to do it, and the thing I like about it is, the Battle Pass, you still, even if you didn't pay for it, you still rank up through the Battle Pass. There's a couple free things along the way.
Stuff you get, yeah.
But if I'm ever going to buy a Battle Pass, I'm going to sit there and play until I clear everything, and then I'll pay for it, and then I get all the shit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm not going to pay for it up front and maybe unlock the stuff.
That's a good point.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things I've thoroughly enjoyed my time playing it, and it will suck you in and make you lose track of time, and like I said, it's digital crack, and that's the only honorable mention I have.
100%.
I got
15.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I got 6.
Holy shit.
So I said earlier in the year that I'd be shocked if this game doesn't make my top 5, and it was WWE 2K22. I did not foresee Immortality. Did not foresee Vampire Survivors.
Yeah.
But I love that game, and I'm so excited.
You love it so much it determined our fantasy draft order.
Yeah, I created all you guys with amazing entrances and outfits.
Oh God! You guys just wait till the Super Bowl.
Oh,
you guys just wait till the Super Bowl.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Oh, it's arriving tomorrow, and I'm so excited.
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so like I'm super. I mean, 2K22 did like it was one of those things. Like it was also. I mean, there were so many things that I really, really liked about it. There's also some things that were very, very broken about it. So like, like the universe mode is just like, you are like, all right, I know this is gonna. If I do this thing, it's gonna break everything. So as long as I don't do these things, it should like all work out and be fine. So like, I had my own federation. I was like just simming matches and own storylines. It was super fun. But like, what I feel better about this, and let's say like the shittiness of Madden when it's broken as well, is like the core of this game is fucking solid. The gameplay is so good. The striking, grappling, like all that stuff is so very good already. So they got to just figure out these little like peripheral things and just make those things better. Make GM mode a little more in depth and make that a little bit better.
Typical 2K fashion. All this,
dude.
Typical 2K.
But like,
fashion.
like honestly, like obviously they're gonna update the roster and do all those other things too. But like, fix universe mode. Do a little more on GM. Like the wrestler creator thing is already amazing. All the download stuff is already amazing. If I can have more variety in creating entrances for you guys, that would have been great. But you got to pick like a guy, and you got to pick like a video. And like,
you got Zeke in there.
That's it. I got Zeke. I uploaded our actual belt from our league in there. I got the White Sox logo in there from Matt's hat. Like it was. That took me.
Next year, Matt needs a Busch Light hat.
Yeah.
Next year we gotta figure out next year. I don't know. I gotta see what this new.
We gotta see what 23 and
yes,
details.
I guess. And
I think their first reveals at Royal Rumble.
Yes,
finally.
So like that's what I'm getting to here. Like
if they can just add on to what this year's game was, they could have something really special.
With said just fix universe mode. Add some more depth to GM mode because that already was good. Like add some depth and some different things you can do in GM mode.
If they can keep what they had and kind of get it more back to the level of what it was in the older SmackDown games. Like it's almost like the Madden thing. All those old features you had, just put them back in the fucking game.
Just bring them back. Just bring them back.
Debate and okay, so those things
identical, the exact same thing. Just put them in.
In that same vein, go add back into weapon grapples. Yeah. That's the thing. Like we're like if I'm holding a chair and do a grapple move, I do like a chair move with like the what I mean. Like I can do a Van Damme or something like that.
Right.
See what I mean? Like they took those out of the game.
Yeah.
And one last thing I would like them to do, because this happens in like every wrestling, like actual wrestling match ever, when you have like more than like two guys in the ring, at some point someone's gonna jump onto like the whole mess of guys. Like they gotta if you have like a thing like these, you should cool. If you have like your finisher or your signature built up, and like two people are standing outside the ring, and I'm inside the ring, I should be able to initiate like a dive on the pile type of a situation where they cut away and do that. Awesome. Because they already cut away a bunch when they're putting like the moves together and whatever. Like just do that, but for like the more grandiose stuff, like jumping off of things and shit like that. Escape Academy. Man, I absolutely adore. I'm waiting for the Escape Academy season pass to finish. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to do it. I love Escape Academy. I love the vibe of it. I love the puzzle. I mean, I love escape rooms, period. But I love the rooms that they put together in this game were so good and so imaginative. The story was good too. It was the right amount of fun, quirkiness, challenge. It was just really. I just thoroughly enjoyed it.
It's been downloaded since day one on Game Pass. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
It's one of those things too where you can sit next to have Melissa be there with you. She wouldn't have to play it, but she point shit out
Right.
and it's one of those things too where you can kind of you got to write some stuff down and whatever it is too. But
It's cool, man. No, I gotta get to it.
it's excellent. Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I gotta get Art back out here too. He did the same thing I did a minute ago. That game definitely would be considered a new game.
Yeah.
Despite it being a ultra deluxe
Right,
edition.
right.
Nope, that is a new game. It is this one was I enjoyed so much of my time in that, and just so many fun, quirky, new twists on the Stanley Parable formula that made sense and was still the same level of not was slapsticky, but it was actually laugh out loud funny in some portions of it, and just how dumb some of the things were. It's so good. The best game I played this year that didn't come out this year was Cyberpunk 2077. I got to talk about it at least a little bit because I put so many goddamn hours into it and super enjoyed it, and I'm really excited for Phantom Liberty, I think is the DLC coming out.
Yep.
Hopefully it works, and hopefully it's very, very
so.
good. Art,
Yo,
did you play any more Stanley Parable?
no.
Oh, it's on my honorable mention list. Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. They have added. Okay, so I've heard they've added some new things to it. I haven't been back since, but that's going to be a thing that I'm going to pop back into at some point here and play it again. Super. Again, I mean, I'm a Ghostbuster fan to begin with, but it was just super fun. It's super easy. Everyone's having a good time and chilling. You don't need a microphone on there if you don't want to. It's. I'm very excited for the free updates that are coming to add a little more locales and ghosts and things like that. I didn't play as a ghost twice. I played as it once, and that's all I played it as, and I'm totally fine just being just a Ghostbuster. Last but not least, the game I'm currently playing and really enjoying is Signalis.
I gotta get to that.
Another
that.
Game Pass game. It's a horror game. You're playing as an android, trying to find a person on this space station, more or less, is the main plot point. But it's a really amazing mix. It has the Metal Gear Solid camera, where it's it's if you've played the original Metal Gear Solid, you know what I'm talking about. But it has the Resident Evil inventory management. We only got 6 slots.
Right.
So you got to really think about what you're bringing, what you're carrying, what you got, what you need. I'm going to go here and okay, I got to pick up this thing. My inventory is full. All right, do I waste a couple of bullets? I'm going to need those couple of bullets. And it adds some and it has some getting later in the game has some Silent Hilly type of environments and moments and things like that too, because you are an android, in a world of androids, and seeing the bad guy, the degraded androids is kind of disturbing, and seeing them kind of trying to figure out what happened on the station is super interesting. You gotta be really quiet, cause so if you're quiet enough, you can kind of sneak around bad guys. But if you get really loud, then the bad guys will start crawling up from the ground too. So you're gonna be creating bad guys if you're loud. Sometimes you just gotta walk. You just gotta walk. You just gotta walk around, and you want to run, but you gotta walk. You just have to.
Sounds tedious.
There's a little bit of that involved with that, but you it's adds to the tension, just when you're standing still in the original Resident Evil. It has a lot of that DNA is in this game.
Yeah.
The story is very hard to put together. I just know that I keep going further down into the space and keep progressing, and it keeps getting weirder. But I feel like I'm pretty close to the end at this point, so I'm definitely going to see it through. And that is all of my honorable mentions.
All right.
Cat loves it. Cat loves that
yeah.
shit. Loves Signalis.
All right. So let's see. I already talked about a couple of these. First one, another one for mine. Kirby and the Forbidden Land.
Oh, I had that game. I didn't play it. That's one of them I should have played before.
Do you know where your Switch is?
I know where the dock is because I just recently hooked it up.
That's not going to help you
That's
play the
the
game.
first problem.
Progress.
Man, that game was fucking awesome. Like I really, again, that was another one I struggled not putting into the top 5. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I beat it in the weekend. I got it.
How long does it take?
It took me like 12-ish hours.
All right.
But like I put like 4 hours in each 3 days in a row. Like honestly, it was just one of those. I was like, oh, one more level. Oh, one more level. Like I just couldn't stop playing. It looked great. It played great. I mean, it took Kirby to another level. Like it was like, I mean, this is like probably the longest Kirby game ever. Because Kirby games you can usually finish in like 3-4 hours. So it's definitely the longest Kirby game ever. And there was a bunch of little extra stuff you could do too. But yeah, it's so good. So if you have a Switch, you owe it to yourself to play Kirby in the Forbidden Land. Another honorable mention, and the reason why I think it's an honorable mention, it could have potentially made the top 5, but I've just not played enough of it yet, is Bayonetta 3.
Okay.
For how old the Switch is, man, props to Platinum Games for doing what they could with Bayonetta 3, because if that game was on Xbox or PlayStation, it would be fucking gorgeous. It would play incredible. It plays incredible on Switch, so it would play just incredible. It would just blow it. It would be amazing. It's the only thing holding it back is the graphics. I mean, it still looks good on Switch, but it's clear. It is pushing that system to the limits, and it's struggling even.
It is.
I'm hearing that a lot about Switch games recently.
Well, especially very recently.
Well, a bunch of games are pushing it beyond limits, whereas like it's not working.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
didn't play the new Pokemon games, but like that's like they run like ass.
We'll get into that later.
So like it's one of those things where it's just like but I also feel like you said though, like Bayonetta seems to be fine.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's just the graphics. In order for it to play awesome, the graphics are suffering. Like to make it like there's times where that game looks ugly, but it's still running fucking smooth. That's what they had to do to make it sure it stays. Especially a game like that, where like that type of like Devil May Cry old school action, like it needs to run smooth as you can be for that. In order to still pull off the combos and to make sure you get the dives, to get their witch mode and everything. But so far I've enjoyed every minute I've spent with it. I just haven't played enough of it to like really get it in there.
Gotcha.
Gotham Knights. I played the shit out of this game when it came out. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I still really, really liked it. Sure, it's not perfect. It's got, it's a little tedious at times, but man, like I probably shouldn't have paid $70. Like I don't think it was necessarily a $70 game, but then but all these Black Friday sales, like you said, like you picked it up,
Yep.
like perfect. Like it's so much fun.
Mike, what system did you get on?
PlayStation.
Damn it.
I played all the other Arkham games.
I'll hop in. I played the whole game as Batgirl, so I didn't even try any of the other ones. So I will totally dive back in as someone else if you want to. So let me know.
When I get around to that,
I was just let me know.
You got to play all the indie games I'm about to tell you about.
Yeah. And then my last honorable mention, I have to mention it, even though I'm very upset with them, the developers right now. Moss Book 2 for PlayStation VR. So
the game you like, the developers at this moment, not so much.
Not so much. The game is phenomenal. It's. I mean, if you played the first Moss, Moss was excellent. Moss was very good. This takes it to a whole nother level. It is very, very well done. It was very, very good.
The cat swiped the phone.
Yeah, don't be deleting my list. I'm gonna forget it.
I mean, it takes everything. Like I said, it takes everything to the next level. It's so good. I actually beat it all in one sitting. It took me 5.5 hours.
Oh wow!
So 5.5 hours with a VR headset.
I was gonna say
you said 5 hours in VR. Jesus.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was pretty crazy. So I really, really enjoyed. But like I said, I super enjoyed it. It's an excellent game. Just if you have a PlayStation VR 1, if you have any intentions of buying a VR 2, do not buy it right now, because they are one of the only developers that are making you pay full price to get the PS VR 2 version of it.
Yeah.
Most of these other developers are offering either $10 upgrades or just fucking free. So I mean, and of course, a lot of these games for PSVR 1 are not being upgraded to PS2, at least as of right now.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that that's not even an option. However, it makes me mad that I bought Moss Book 2 day one because I just absolutely love that first one. So I'm like, all right, this is a good excuse to hook up the VR again and everything. I paid $40 for it, and now the PSVR 2 version's coming out, and it's $30.
Oh,
the better version of the game is $10 less, and only out 11 months after the version I just paid.
Yeah,
so
that right?
the fact that I don't even have like a $10, like it still would piss me off because I would still be paying $20 more than everyone, but still, I would rather at least give me that option to pay $10 to upgrade.
Yeah.
Like I said, it sucks that I still have to pay the upgrade, but fine. But the thing is, like, I already paid that extra $10. I paid $39 when the game came out. You're charging only $29 now for it. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, ain't right.
So that's why and that was a good reason why I kind of like actually really I was like, yeah, that's not even going to my 5. I will mention it, but it is definitely not going to my 5 because those developers are pissing me off.
Fair enough. Do you have any other games that you've been playing?
So, yeah. All right, so let's see. Crisis Core Reunion.
All right. Stop touching my phone, cat.
Get a kit.
Yep. Finished it. Took me a little over 20 hours. So there are missions in there that if you've never played it, there are missions there's a shit ton of missions you can do. That's kind of how you level up and all that good stuff. I have only completed like 52% of those.
Oh, wow.
Because there's just so many and they're getting hard. They're getting to that point where they're getting kind of difficult. So like I actually really need to start messing with because like for the story mode, the material I have set up and everything it was perfect. Like I got through the story mode, no problem. I beat the game. I had no issues with that. But this is how you do like a quote. It's a perfect in between remaster remake. Like it is better than a remaster. It's not just like we're just gonna bump this resolution up.
Yeah.
Here you go. Like no, it is. It's not to the caliber of Final Fantasy VII remake, but like it's right in between. It's right in between because like it uses like the character model, like the models are very remake like, but like the backgrounds and stuff look good. The backgrounds look excellent, but there's still a lot of characters that they still look kind of like you could tell like it's not as detailed like as like it is in remake.
Okay.
And in the cutscenes have been up, but the cutscenes still look kind of grainy. Like, but that's because it's from the PSP. Like,
oh yeah,
and
right.
Full motion video. That's a lot different than upgrading the gameplay. Like, it's a lot different process for
Listen,
that.
if you give me a PSP game, I want my goddamn UMD with it.
Yeah, that's right. But no, this is actually the first. Like, there's been many times I have started Crisis Core, I've never finished it. So this is great to actually get through it and finish the whole thing. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm very curious now to see because like I always knew about Zack and everything. So the stuff that happens in remake doesn't totally shock me. But like I'm very curious to see how they're going to take Rebirth because they purposely put this out before Rebirth.
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean. So I'm very curious to see how they're going to use Zack come Rebirth and stuff because I have a couple of theories that I'll keep to myself for now until it gets closer and more people will finish Crisis Core. But no, if you're a Final Fantasy VII fan, play Crisis Core. Like it's so good, and especially this version's awesome. Really quickly then, I did jump into Soul Hackers 2. I just picked that up on Xbox. Okay. That's an Atlas game. To show my support for Atlas on Xbox. I was very very happy. But I'm glad it was finally discounted to $30.
Where'd you buy Crisis Core?
Xbox. Xbox.
That makes sense.
Xbox.
Because you can carry over that to Rebirth, right?
Yeah. Yeah, thankfully there's no connection there.
Why would they make a connection on this game that's in between the games?
Yeah, that's right.
Like, there's no connection, that's fine, but if you're doing all the rest of them platform exclusive, why put one?
I know.
On the other platform.
I just don't get it. I don't get it.
Damn.
It's great. There's a lot of stuff Square Enix is doing this year that already is pissing me off and confusing me. But yeah, Soul Hackers 2. So basically, the characters are very so far. The characters have been very, very interesting. It's Persona, but like on a lesser scale Persona. So like for people who are kind of overwhelmed by like the social links and aspects of Persona and stuff like that. This is a much lesser scale, so this would be like pretty cool for that. But it's it looks good. It's I'm just really enjoying that. And then really quickly over on Switch, we'll talk about Pokemon Scarlet really quick. God damn, that game has so many fucking issues, which is unfortunate that it has so many issues because the new mechanics and everything they've added in there are awesome. And I was until like I was starting to hit some I was hitting some bad bugs where just like I'm like I need to stop playing. Like this looks terrible. This is aggravating me.
Yeah, it seems unfixable too. Like one of those things I was like
afraid of. Well, there's a patch coming in February,
good.
so we'll see. There's supposed to be a huge bug patch. Well, we don't know. This is the first time Game Freak's ever done something like this. Who knows what that means? Because we don't know what they mean by that. Who knows? But it's just, the stuff that like the way it's open, and there's no longer a gym order. I mean, there is, but like you could make it harder for yourself and go reverse order, like and stuff like that. Like it's just. It does look good at times. Like it does. Like there's times where it looks good and there's times where it's really, really horrible. And it definitely plays better in handheld. Definitely plays better in handheld because of the lower resolution. I think definitely helps you with that. But yeah, it's unfortunate all the issues it has with it because this might be one of technically their best Pokemon games in years. But yeah,
but technically the worst.
Technically the worst. Exactly. No, 100%. Exactly. And then speaking of technical issues, the other game I've been playing is Sports Story.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, my God.
I don't want to talk about Sports Story. It makes me so...
Oh, my God.
I haven't played it yet, but it makes me so upset.
The fucking issues with that game drive me up the fucking wall. And I have good hours in this game. I've got some good hours into this game. But, man, like, it picks the right time to stutter when you're in the middle of a swing and you need to time that swing and it fucks you up every goddamn time.
Cannot have that.
There are just random squares that pop up on the screen and stay on the screen until you get into other like geometry. Straight up geometry. And it doesn't clear off until like the next loading screen. Like and then it helps clear it out. The game has crashed on me numerous times. I've lost count of how many times the game crashed on me. I did just notice the other day when I turned on my Switch because I did actually download and played a little bit of the Dragon Quest Treasures demo.
Oh.
There's a demo now. I'm trying not to buy it.
Ooh.
I'm really trying not to. Dude, I've got plenty of other shit to play.
I don't even get me started. But
oh my God.
I'll get into some I did.
Yeah. But so it did download an update, and I heard an update was coming for it. So I have not dove back into it.
Gotcha.
But so far, I'm enjoying it. But I also have the same issues that I had with it with Golf Story, where there's no fucking map, and there's half the time I'm running around trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do next, and that drives me crazy because it's like it's not like okay, like it's like I know what I'm supposed to do next, but where the fuck am I supposed to go do it? Like I just give me a marker. Just give me a mark of where I'm going. Like I don't like that. Why am I wasting time running around?
Yeah.
I don't like that I'm wasting time just running around.
Dude, it's been so long since Golf Story. I vaguely remember it.
Oh, the tennis sucks. By the way,
I hear most of the extra sports suck.
The volleyball was okay. It was okay, but the tennis fucking sucks.
Why would they just not make? I don't know.
It sucked.
Art.
There you go.
What
else? Have you been playing anything else we haven't talked about yet?
No, we talked about Crisis Core. I'm not really far enough into it to have an opinion on it. Outside of that, I mean, we've talked about everything else I can think of.
All right. So I did play a few games for Game of the Year. Here's ones that didn't make the list. We talked a little bit about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I have not played a single player at all. I'm level 100 whatever. I finished a battle pass.
Hey, you got past 100. Good job.
I did.
You weren't past 100 when we played the other night.
No, I wasn't. I am now. I was trying to get. I was like, I'm so goddamn close to the end of this battle pass. Like I gotta do it. I really like the multiplayer in this one. But it's Call of Duty, so that's all there is to say about that. So here are the games that I played for Game of the Year that didn't make Game of the Year. Number one is Pentiment. Pentiment is a game I should love, and I just don't. I just don't love it. I've gotten like there's only like I think there's like 4 or 5 chapters, and at least chapter 2 I think is just like a cutscene. So it's like chapter 1 finishes, chapter 2 is a cutscene, chapter 3 is you playing again. So I got into chapter 3. I wasn't a super huge fan of how chapter 1 ended, and I'm just walking around this town like talking to all these it's all dialogue.
Right.
And there's some really cool things that are happening in there. I just don't care enough because this should be a game I love. It's like very walking around. It's kind of doing detective work on someone who I love that piece of it when I was doing the detective work.
Yeah.
Love that shit. Yeah, I finish the detective work. I bring it to the authorities. Like, here's what I found. They're like, okay, you can go away now. We'll make a decision. I'm like, no, that's not how this works. And then I was like, and my understanding is like that kind of circles back to that later on.
Sure.
But I'm having trouble finding the motivation to get back into it. It's really cool to see how like the main town progresses because like you're in this main town, you're working there. That murder happens. There's a execution, and then you leave for a little while, and you come back later on. So like that's kind of interesting to see like people grow and kids grow up and how relationships have changed. And I mean the art style is so cool. Like it looks like a Renaissance type painting. But like it's really funny how they like if someone's old, they look like a weathered painting. Okay. If someone's had a hard life, they look like a weathered painting.
Okay.
It's like that. It's like really little cool things that, which I really do dig. But like I'm just having trouble. Getting through it. Mm. So I probably won't jump back into that one. Another one is Norco. That's a really tough one to describe. It's very adventure-esque, go around, but it's like doesn't make a ton of sense. And I guess the same thing. Like I just don't connect with any of these people.
So one of my favorite painkillers too.
Yeah. So I'm just not that into it. My biggest disappointment of the year.
Madden?
No, because I knew that was going to be shitty. That's why I bought it used and then sold it back. Yeah. I sold that shit back. Got a boost. I basically bought that game for $10.
I don't remember what I got for it. Enough.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Enough that they told me the price and I wasn't like, not going to sell that. Here's the price. Fine. Good. Grand.
So this is from some of the developers or creators, big guys who did Limbo and Inside, Somerville.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you play Limbo or Inside, you know it's a 2D side-scrolling game. It's not like a platform. I mean, a little bit of platforming, a little bit of story, a little bit of what the fuck, all kinds of stuff. But Somerville changes it and adds like a third dimension to it. So you can go like towards or back from the screen. There's a lot of times where I'm just like struggling with that piece of it, trying to be like, all right, pull the lever, pull the fucking lever, pull the lever. Okay.
You're not quite aligned with the lever in the depth dimension.
Yes. Great. And you need to be like in the exact thing to make it work. And it opens super, super interestingly. Like there's like an alien invasion and then like your house gets, bombarded and then you're trying to just survive that piece, which is super interesting. And then it kind of goes off the deep end from there. There's a couple really cool puzzle moments in there. But like you finish the game in 3 hours, just like other Playdead games. This isn't a Playdead game, but you know what I mean. And the ending I got was like the bad ending. So I'm like, what did I miss?
Yeah.
And so I go back, so I look it up, and the way you get the different endings is fucking nonsense. All right. I'll give you. I can't even spoil the story because there's not much of a story that I even to talk of on this one. But like, you go in front of the aliens and just like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And I'm trying to like make communication with them with lights.
Right.
So if they were giving me lights, I was mirroring the lights, and I got my ending, which is the bad ending. The combination of what you need to actually say to these motherfuckers, like the lights you need to do. How would I ever do this? Like, how would I ever know to do this combination, this much of a combination, all this stuff? Like, how would I know to get the good ending? It's really terrible. So Somerville was definitely my biggest disappointment. Not only was it like super frustrating to play, like I felt like I was just moving forward because that was the only way I could go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't have like a real big motivational like reason to move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I talked about. All right. Now here's some games I just played because I thought they were interesting. Did I tell you about Vampire Survivors?
No.
It's very no.
Why don't could you please give me some information and leave me a pamphlet?
He's gonna turn it into the new Madden.
Oh God, it's so good.
But,
All right.
but
Turn
good.
into Madden?
Yeah.
But
Wow.
positive.
Wow.
But positive.
Turn into the new
So-
Madden. Jesus.
So have any? So I bought like one of those mini PCs, just to have, and I'm playing. I can play. Allegedly, play any system I ever want, up to PlayStation 2 on there. Allegedly,
Nice.
I could play basically all those things on there. But I was like, I wonder what I can do, like PC game wise. Like, I'm not trying to play like the newest Madden on there. I'm trying to play whatever the fuck.
Vampire Survivors.
That's where I first played it. Was on that. First time I played Norco, and that worked fine. First time I played this game called Not for Broadcast. Have you ever heard about Not for Broadcast?
No.
Okay. This is another game I wanted to love, and I felt like I should have loved. This game has literally the most FMV of any video game of all time. It's a new game, came out this year, and what you are like, you're the director of a live show. So it's mostly a news broadcast that they show, and you have 4 cameras you can switch between. There's you gotta like load up the commercials, and you gotta play those on time. You gotta cut certain things on time. Like when doing an interview, you got to cut to people who are talking, and they grade you on things like that. There are like, you got to keep like every once in a while, like, you know, the satellite will be messing up, so you got to move like the frequency up and down. Just all basically you're managing like the big screen they have. Like when you watch like Monday Night Football and they show like the big screen of these guys working. You're the guy working the buttons. Okay. And everything you see is full motion video, and there's a ton of choices you can make. Like you can say like they'll like. And the main thing that happens in the very first news broadcast is that there's an election. This is all like in a fake European country. There's an election, and this out of left field party wins, and their thing is like, all right, we're gonna go. This guy is drunk with his acceptance speech. Like, all right, if you got money, we're gonna take it. Like, if you're rich, we own it. Like So it's like one of those things like from Papers, Please, where you're like, okay, like clearly this is not a good regime, but like, do I let the terrorists in to like overthrow these guys? Because like, or you know what I mean? Like, right. Do I want to show the propaganda videos? Do I want to show the videos from the rebellion? Do I want, and like they'll give you options, like they'll like start introducing a clip or like, you know, national scientist is introducing a new drug, and then I can have like the drug be for like, you know, male birth control or for like something else, and I gotta pick which one I want to do, and then they'll change the video and change the story based on those things.
The answer is male birth control,
but it's like, but neither option is good. Like the two options are like, do I make all these like rich people like they literally take all their stuff, like they're like homeless. So like, do I like I mean, okay, so like it's like there's no good answer, which I think is kind of the point. And I was like digging those things, and you get to make like in between like broadcasts, you make like life choices. Whereas this like, my brother is one of those people that would be losing their house because he's super successful. Like, do I give him my passport so I can get out of here? Like, do I make those decisions? And then they'll tell you like how much money you're making. Like, are you doing what the company wants? Are you doing what the government wants? Are you doing all these different things? And then all of a sudden, like they're just doing like time jumping stuff and like time paradoxes with this group of people who are underground. And then there's these little gremlin guys attacking the tower. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? Like just keep with like honestly, just keep with this piece of it. Take all that shit out of here. I think I would have really liked it because it's like they have one where they're showing a live broadcast of, I forget what the game is called, but they're showing like a game, and the whole idea of the game is like there's a ping pong ball, and I have one, like say we're on opposite sides of like this little like opposite sides of this garbage can, like a big garbage can. I have a ping pong ball, you have a ping pong ball. The whole idea is to not throw the ping pong ball into the garbage can. So they're just doing like all kinds of random crazy shit, and they're like, "Oh, what a throw!" Like he's taking it, just like throwing it backwards, and like it's super, it's like super British nonsense type stuff. And then the super rich people who could take all the money, like they just start like streaking in the middle of this thing. So I gotta like move the camera around. So like I gotta pick which one
You don't
to
move
not
that camera.
not get the nudity.
No.
And I can't like
You're
cut.
out
I
your
can't
body
cut. I
shaming.
can't cut back to the studio because that guy is like not ready at all. Like it's like you gotta like make it. So it's like super interesting. Like those things are like super fun and super interesting. But just like I just like get that supernatural shit out of there and just like keep it this type of stuff. I thought it would have been great. But I kind of want to go back to because now I understand like what's going on in the story a little bit more too. Like I kind of want to start from scratch and try it again. But that's interesting. What else? Talked about Pentiment. Oh, save room. Either one knew what save room is.
Nope.
So.
Oh God, it
Sounds like what you do for dessert.
It's so stupid. So save room. It is a puzzle game that is literally just the inventory management from Resident Evil 4.
Oh God.
It gets to the point.
Oh God.
That's all it is. It's all it is. And they, like on the right side of it, they give you all these things. On the left side, they give you different sizes, like cases, and you gotta get all the stuff from there and fit it all in there. And sometimes you gotta use health items. Sometimes you gotta reload guns. Sometimes you gotta put potions together. Sometimes you gotta put the gunpowder together. Sometimes you gotta, split the shotgun shells between two different types of shotguns. And like it is so Resident. Like they have like a Resident Evil save room like theme going on, like do 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 do. Like when you hit start, it goes save room. Like it's a whole thing. It was originally on. It was originally on.
This isn't Resident Evil Renaissance.
Oh, dude,
or whatever that game's called.
Oh, God. This is a way better game. It was originally on like Steam. It is on Xbox now. I think it's on PlayStation as well. It's one of those things like it's like always like $4. So it's very good. It's the easy achievements too if you're doing like the points. Like if you're chasing like you get it you're chasing the Microsoft points, getting like the extra points there. Super like it's like you finish 3 levels,
on Xbox.
get 3 levels, get an achievement. Finish 3 levels, get an achievement. Get 3 levels, get an achievement.
Oh fuck this.
I'm almost actually done with it. I'm almost at I think I've done all the puzzles. I get.
Just looking at the screenshots, holy crap! Oh my God,
it's all it is.
I get it, but
it's
oh my
all
God.
it is. It's all it is. Yeah, it's
perfect Game Pass game. That'd be like, why not?
But it's like $3. I know. It's like honestly, it's like $3.
No, Game Pass.
So yeah, it's like dumb. It's like it makes me feel smart too because I know I play so much Resident Evil. Like I know what to do here. I know if I put the 2 green ones together, I'm gonna get shotgun shells. You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't eat that egg. I should eat that egg. Just like really fun stuff like that. So yeah, save room. And then last but not least, so I mean, you guys have heard of Fuser, right? You know how it got delisted?
Nope.
So Fuser, this is like earlier in December, put out like, it's like, we're delisting Fuser like 2 months. Basically, like the music rights got too expensive to renew. So they're delisting Fuser. So of course I had to buy it. And a bunch of songs. I probably spent like $70 on Fuser. It was in my cart, like in my wish list for like a super long time, and it just never went on sale. Even like at $20, I'm like, I don't know about $20, and it just never went on sale. So I'm like, well, it's either now or never, like literally now or never. Right. So I bought a bunch of it, and it's good. It's ridiculous how they can put shit together and make it sound great. Like I don't understand how that works at all.
Right.
But yeah, you can make anything kind of work, and the kids like it too. So it was a fun time.
Nice. I got one more.
Oh, go ahead.
I totally forgot about it.
Go ahead.
Something
Is it Save Room?
It's not Save
Is
Room.
it Vampire Survivors?
No.
No.
Something that's actually like probably should have been an honorable mention. Actually, High on Life.
Oh yeah, you told me to play that one.
Oh my God. I
did see you tweeting about that.
I fucking enjoyed the hell out of this game. So this is from the creators of Rick and Morty. Full disclosure, I do not watch Rick and Morty. It's just fucking over the top, ridiculous humor. I mean, like it's just crazy. The guns, like people complain about the chatting of the guns. First of all, there's a setting. You can turn that down if you really hate it. I left it because it's hilarious and it's great. There was times where they repeated themselves, but it was actually not that common. Like, it really wasn't that common how often they repeated themselves. And I wish the fucking knife spoke more. He was hilarious because every time you beat a giant boss, he gets in there and does his stuff. He's like, "Ooh, stabby time!" Because you go in there and you rip out the shit you need out of like the boss and stuff. So, but it's hilarious. But it's like, when you use him normally, he doesn't say anything. It's like, oh, we needed more of him. He was great. But no, like it looks awesome. Like the visuals are great. So I loaded it up the night, like, so like it was supposed to go up on Game Pass. That like I saw on Twitter like 7 p.m. the night before, like, hey, guess what? It's you know how they do on some of these Game Pass games. It's available now. Go ahead, go and play it. Yeah. So I started playing it. And I'm like, man, I'm like, okay, it looks nice, but this like the frame rate is really rough.
Huh.
The next morning, they forgot to go ahead and put that day one patch ahead of time when they unlocked it the day before, and then that like it was super smooth from then on.
That was like
Super
blows my mind of how like we get these reviews scores of people who are playing like a shitty version of the game, right? Because they don't have these day one patches.
Right.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Like, why don't we review anything ahead of time?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, like, I
For
agree.
real.
Agreed.
Money.
Well, of course.
Well, yeah.
Clicks.
He's
is
doing the
money.
money thing with his hand.
Yeah. But this game is absolutely hysterical. I mean, like I said, it's over the top. I mean, super adult. You run into an alien who's selling something interesting.
Ooh.
And I got the achievement for finishing with that in my inventory.
Nice.
Because I had to. It's disgusting, but I had to do it. It's part of the game. Damn it. But no, it honestly, it's one of the better first-person shooters I've played in a while. It's a Metroidvania.
Oh, really?
Because there's stuff that you can't get to until you beat a boss. You get a new gun, which has new abilities.
That's a Metroidvania.
There you go. So it's also a Metroidvania in a way.
When are we gonna make a Mega Man Metroidvania? Because that just makes sense. Does that make sense?
I just told 100%.
All right, go ahead.
But yeah, so High on Life, it's on Game Pass. It's totally freaking worth it. Go check it out. I would not be surprised if Xbox acquires Squatch Games after that.
That makes sense
because it did so well on there, and it's awesome.
All right, last thing I want to talk about, video game adjacent. Have any of you guys watched Last of Us?
Yes.
Not yet.
Oh.
It's on my radar. I need to do it. I just haven't. It's been a long week. I just haven't gotten to it.
This just came out Sunday, and today is
It's only one
Thursday.
episode, right?
It's an hour and a half long episode.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
It was supposed to be 2 episodes.
I really hope not every episode's an hour and a half.
It's not. I guess like the unofficial run times are like they're going to be about 40 to 55 minutes.
Okay.
I'm
so
okay with
each
that.
HBO shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
This one, like okay, so I've been very into the weeds of this one. Like I watched like 3 different spoiler casts. I listened to the official podcast of it and all that stuff. So like, so I'm a fan. But yeah, like the original, there was a point in the middle of this episode, obviously that there's like that was supposed to be the end of episode 1.
Okay.
And I guess like an HBO executive would be like, you probably don't want to end it there.
Okay. Was it before or after the accident?
After.
Okay.
Yeah, so you probably don't want to end it there because this is like a double downer, and you should probably like keep going a little bit afterwards.
Yeah, okay, I got you. That would be the perfect ending to like the episode 1 though. Like, and right after the accident, like in a way. Like,
Yeah, it's like
I haven't seen it, but
well, like it's like
I get it.
It was the accident happened, then they have like the time jump.
Yeah,
because you're
right.
older and like you're well past the outbreak day.
Yeah,
and then there's something that happens right after that, which is very similar to that event. They're like, well, we can't do this twice.
Oh,
and then end the episode.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? So it's like
I got you. Okay.
So that was like they're like, all right, no, let's put this up together, and they went from like 10 episodes down to 9 episodes, but they have like a supersized one to start off with.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you think, Art?
I think it's it's really weird because there's like 2 different audiences here. There's people who have never played the video game, people who have played the video game.
Yep.
Right.
And I think either way, you're in good shape. If you've never played the video game, it's all new to you. If you've played the video game, they're adding more context and additional scenes in that weren't in the video game. So there's definitely still something worth seeing there. Plus, it's just a fantastic story. So what's the harm in watching it in a different medium?
Yeah, and this is like super high budget. Super high budget. Like it feels like a movie. Like, and I'm assuming this is going to continue the rest of this series. I was talking to Matt about it. Like Matt doesn't play games. He definitely didn't play this.
Yeah.
And I was like, you got to watch this. Like you just watch it. And
Most recent game Matt's played is what, Resident Evil 2?
Yeah, that's the original
on
one.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Right.
So and he was asking me, and he's like, yeah, I was like, dude, he's like, he really enjoyed it, but he had a couple questions. Like, hit me with them. And I was just like, all right.
Were they questions that you're like, you just got to keep watching?
Yeah, the first question, the first question was like, all right, just hang tight. Hang tight on question one. Question two was one of those, it was like, it was just giving a little better understanding of like why this one thing happened. But yeah, I mean, they changed the story. Like what what Art said about giving a chance to like get more story out of this. It's because, like you said, you're not over the shoulder of Joel.
Sure.
Just like you are in the game, right? Like they can take you away from Joel and give you some more color of like why you were going after this one guy, or like what else happened like before you met Ellie. Like there's so many there's those different things that they can do with this different medium that they are all the way doing. Like they're into it. I mean, all the performances were so cool.
I was going to say, how have all the characters?
Oh my god,
they seem like they're going to be okay.
Pedro Pascal is amazing as Joel so far. You get like little hints of his twang every once in a while. Like it's just it's that's cool.
Is Ellie in the first episode?
Yes.
How is
Yes.
she? That was the one that I was kind of a little worried about.
She feels different than Ellie does, like in the games, but she tonally is Ellie.
Okay.
Like all the MFs you can get. It's she feels that way. Bella Ramsey does.
Her first words in the show, "Fuck you."
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, it's a countdown to "fuck you." I think is the first words actually.
Sorry, I forgot.
Bella Ramsey plays her her rhythm is different. I mean, she's a different actress, obviously, right? Sure. So like her rhythm is different, but the vibe is the same. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, as long as the vibe's the same.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's all that matters.
I mean, Marlene is in the first game. Was really cool as her actor that was in The Last of Us, like the video game, is the same actor in this one.
Oh, cool.
Like she aged up into like the actual thing. So they use the same person. She's really good in this.
Cool.
They have some really, really great lines. Really, really great lines in this one that definitely weren't in the game. Yeah, it's. I mean,
we might have a good adaptation.
Dude, it's not. It's
potentially.
I mean,
it's still the first episode, but potentially.
Well, not only that, but look at how specifically the original The Last of Us was. It's a linear story. You're playing a movie, so now they're just taking that and putting it on TV instead of vice versa, going from.
I would say the first one makes sense. I mean, the first one makes sense for this. Like, I don't know how. Like, if this does well, if the second game would translate as well. But the first game, I agree. I think the first game totally could translate very well in this format.
Well, I think it was something kind of funny said. The way that it would make the most sense for this to go was they're doing the first game is the first season, and I imagine it's going to get into the second season. I imagine what whoever said they should do is. Last of Us Part 2 should be split up between season 2 and season 3 in the appropriate way. If you've played it, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So like that would be a way to do it.
Yep.
I don't know. It's tough.
I just don't know if that's going to translate as well as the first game. That's just personal.
I
just think the story of the first game is so much better.
I mean, and not only that, the way it seems from the first episode, and I imagine at least a good chunk of the season will go, is the Joel character is kind of carrying things.
Yeah.
How do you work the second game into that?
Well, they got 8 more episodes to go, and some of those again. This is all the first game, right? Well, so when they get to winter, it's going to be a little more Ellie focused, and things like that too. Yeah. So
It's one of those things like, do they think she can carry the series?
Well, I guess we'll find out.
For a second
You
season?
said we'll find out later this season
Or-
how that goes.
Or they start Game of Thrones in it and they just start changing the story to, bring
Yeah.
away from the game.
It's always possible.
and
For the second one. It's always possible.
they've already changed a couple things. Like the biggest one is the way the fungus spreads.
Okay.
It's not airborne at all now.
okay.
But I think they said that beforehand. They said that before
Oh,
the
right, they
episode
got
even
rid
came
of
out.
like spores and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
and it's like, The Last of Us has been very conscious that we've had a pandemic for the last couple of years. Like,
Yeah.
it used to be Outbreak Day, now it's Last of Us Day, and things like that. So, like, not having an airborne thing that's killing people probably be bad. Having the weird, but what they did now is they have it like come out of like their mouth, and it's like kind of like latches on and like injects the victim with it.
Oh, okay.
So it's much more zombie like in
I
this
got
one
it.
because you actually got to like make contact.
I got you.
I missed that.
You didn't see the things come out of their mouth?
No.
It was super gross. They had
The clicker.
I haven't seen any
Oh,
clicker.
is it
Haven't seen any
clickers
clicker
yet?
yet.
Okay.
I take that back.
Okay.
You see one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
At the very, very end, there's one like howling in the distance.
Okay.
Is kind of cool.
Okay.
When they do the time jump, and they're in like the Fedra controlled like quarantine zone.
Yeah.
They have a sign that says like depending on where you got bit is like basically how long it usually takes to
Right,
transform. Like
right.
leg is the longest, but you get bit like in the neck or the head or the face area is
Yeah.
like 15 minutes. So all that.
Okay.
They change a little bit of the lore. I think it's easier to. Zombie bites is just a thing everyone knows about now.
Sure,
Whatever.
yeah.
And then also you don't have to put your actors behind gas masks all the time.
Right.
Yeah, that's true because, speaking behind a gas mask a lot.
Pedro
sucks.
Pascal does it all the time in Mandalorian, so he's a pro at that. But the only thing that I'm really gonna miss on this is like remember when in the original Last of Us is Ellie was putting a mask on for like basically no reason, just like as like a show. And there's a couple things when she took it
Yeah.
off and she was surrounded by spores. Like, why isn't she like they're gonna miss out on that little
Yeah.
bit of whatever. But
That's a good point. Like, I wonder how they're gonna. Because I gotta make it. You could still make it work, but that was a big deal. Like the spores thing.
I mean, they could still, work that in. At
So
some
what are they
point,
gonna just like probably have her get bit at some point? And then
she already,
nothing happens?
they already did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
she starts out that way.
Okay.
Oh God, I don't want to like again. You gotta watch it.
No, it's fine. I mean, it's basically
Because
the same story.
in the
Like,
game,
that's just right
she
now.
started out already bit too, because that was the whole point of
Correct.
transporting her.
Correct.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's why the Fireflies were like, we gotta.
But
send
that
you
was
on your way.
different. How long it took? Like it's different in the game.
I shouldn't say
Like,
she was
compared to,
bit.
like,
she was infected.
Yeah, right.
Right, compared to this.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
That's why it's like, how do they explain that with this?
That's with that time chart I talked about, like it's her arm
Yeah,
that gets bitten again, and it's the same thing in the game, I think.
And
it
I mean
is,
they
yeah.
they eventually find see the mark on her, and she's like, no, this happened 2 weeks ago. And
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah.
Oh
okay.
God, the end of the episode's so good. It's so amazing. Yeah, it's. I mean, it is an HBO quality level show.
Cool.
And end of story. Now add on how cool Last of Us is. Add on how cool those actors are. Like add on, like the side characters. Like the actress who plays Tess, I think is super interesting. And the stuff they've added so far, like they added more to Sarah's story, like Joel's daughter.
Okay.
So they added like more to Sarah's story too.
God damn it, they're gonna make me fucking cry, aren't they?
I've
I've already seen people online saying they hit a point in the first episode, they turned it off, and they're not going back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different because I know what's coming, right?
Well,
You know what I
right.
mean?
I
So it's
know
just
it's
like
coming,
the
right.
first time, like the first time I played
Well,
Last of Us,
yeah,
woo-wee.
The shock you had in that first game, that's the shock that the mass
Oh,
public is
oh,
having
yeah.
now.
No, I'm just saying though, like they're actually giving the daughter more of a person, and it's like within the game, like it was like, again sad and terrible, but you didn't know much. Like,
And
you didn't
I
really-
think
you know what I mean?
I think
Like,
part of that is to show Joel as a father.
got it.
Yeah, and
Like that's
it's-
the long term impact
I
of
got
those
you.
scenes
I got you.
because
Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, she would have been like the premier character in the first episode if they would have cut it off where they were really supposed to cut it off. Like it would have been 85% Sarah. Like it's that much more you get.
Okay.
which I mean even still with the run of the episode, it was still a lot of Sarah.
Oh yeah, it was half of the episode.
Right.
Oh, it's so good.
Like, by the time you get to the episode, Ellie's still new to this story at this point.
Yeah, she's not. I mean, she's not in a ton of the. She's not in a ton of this first big episode.
Yeah.
She's not. I mean, she has a couple of her moments, and they have a couple really good lines for her in there. But like, it's like world setting, Joel
Got it.
understanding what it means to be infected.
Right. And obviously that, ratio of her screen time will change throughout the series.
Oh yeah.
Especially like you mentioned, as they get to winter.
God,
I can't wait for that part.
I know you talked about like people who've never seen this game and stuff like that. Matt's not gonna listen to this. One of Matt's questions was just like in talking about like the two main characters, and he was talking about Joel and Tess, not Joel and Ellie. I'm like, you don't even fucking know. You don't even fucking know.
Yeah.
Well, someone who saw this first episode I guess granted halfway through that all changes, but like the first half of the episode, you think this is a Joel and Sarah story.
Oh yeah. Why would you not?
Right.
You look like you're escaping.
Right.
And then you don't.
Yeah, right. Surprise!
Yeah, you're escaping it, and then some shit happens.
Oh, okay. I don't want to ruin it for you, but they do like in the Last of Us game. You're trying to escape and you get sideswiped by a truck and you flip over. Like at one point, because Tommy, his brother, Joel's brother's driving, and Joel's like, "Watch out for the truck!" And like, "Whoa!" And then like they stop, like, "Oh!" Like they didn't get hit, like a fake out for a fake out for the gamers. Like you think you know what's happening, shit. And then something ridiculous happens, and that's how like
Gotcha.
Oh my god, it's so good. Yeah, I'm
Cool.
My Sundays have something on the schedule for the next 8 weeks.
I should probably get it in the next couple days, probably tomorrow. I should probably watch that tomorrow before football.
It's amazing.
Over the weekend. Because I don't want to fall too far behind. That's always my problem with these shows. Like I fall too far behind and I just never catch up.
Yeah.
Especially if it's an hour and a half. I should really watch it tomorrow.
I tried watching that on Monday, and it basically led to me having a mental breakdown because, like, the kids in the basement playing, the wife's on the couch working. So I'm like, oh, there we go. I'm gonna turn this shit on, and within like 3 minutes of the episode, got the wife asking me, bah, 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 bah. I'm like, so I paused it and just stared at her. She's like, oh, are you watching? I'm like, yeah. What's your question? So she asked me a question. I'm like, okay. I started back up again. And I shit you not, 2 minutes later, the kid comes running upstairs. I'm like, motherfucker.
Come on.
So I just turned the TV off.
Yeah, fuck this.
Like, I can't go in the basement and watch it because the kid's going to be down. Wherever I go, he's going to be there.
Yeah.
I have no space.
Oh, man.
Moved to a bigger house and I have no space.
It's okay, Art. We're 3 weeks out from Hogwarts Legacy, then you'll never see Karen again.
She's not allowed to play until she catches up on her work.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it. Unless there's any other tangents y'all want to go down. Y'all tangented out.
I can't think of. There's probably more, but I can't think of.
I got nothing. I'm tired.
All right, see you next time. See you next time, stickheads.